All right, guys. Sorry for the delay. I was still trying to set this up. Apparently, what is it called? Audacity didn't want to record the stereo, so it was only giving me mono audio. So, guys, please let me know how it sounds. I know I look a little bit funky. This is the previous color correction, and I don't think it really works without the lights in the background. So we're going to have to make some adjustments to the studio. I had a daughter 3.5 months ago, and she needed a room. So that means my studio room, where I normally record, is now being handed over to my daughter. So that's where she sleeps. That's her own private room. And my studio will be here at the desk where I normally do my consultations and all of my work and motorcycle parts searching online. So guys, please let me know how I sound. Fingers crossed everything sounds okay. And then we can basically get started. But I won't be able to make shorts from this Vigorous Q&A because the setup is still not 100%. I look a little bit red, though. And the background looks a little bit green. I think I need to install some lights in the background so we can have everything going. All right, guys, please let me know how it sounds. Sounds good? All right. We can get started, right? Let me position this. Video's a little choppy. That must be your internet connection. I'm on 12 megabits or megabytes upload and shit. Okay. Let's get started with some questions. Because it's been 3 weeks. I had to entertain my mom. Let's see. CWC 996 Dollarinos became a YouTube member. Welcome to the Vigorous crew. And then let's get right into the super chats, bro. $50 from Functional Fatness. Praise the Lord, my daddy has returned. I hope you have been enjoying fatherhood and family time. I've recently tested some underground lab growth hormone and it came back at 99.8% purity. I also have a Genotropin pen from a batch that tested just over 95%. Could be that it lost a little bit of purity in the transport, but then again, Genotropin pens are known to be faked quite a bit. And that's why I think that in Turkey, they no longer sell the Genotropin pens. That's why they switched to, what is it? The Ingenla, the long-acting growth hormone. Right? Pfizer is trying to, bypass all the counterfeiters. And instead of regular acting growth hormone, they now switch to somatropin or somatrogen gela, which is Ingenla, the long-acting growth hormone. I did a cycle with it. It worked. In the beginning, I didn't really get so much water retention and side effects. And then as the cycle progressed of taking the equivalent of 10 IU's growth hormone, I think I was taking 6 milligrams Ingenla. And I calculated that to about 10 milligrams or 10 IU's. And then at week 2 and 3 or 3, 4, the first 2 weeks, I didn't really have so much side effects. And then week 3 and 4, I just started getting more bloated and more bloated and more bloated. So that was a fun experiment, but not something I'm willing to repeat again. All right. So a test the genotropins, purely by your results and then see what's going on. 95% is still good. But again, it could be that it's damage in transport or that your genotropin pens is not actually genotropin. And otherwise, just stick with high-quality underground lab, Chinese generics. Another question from Functional Fatness. I mean, throwing the money at me, $50, $20. Shake it, baby. Many people have said that they would still choose over the pharma growth hormone. What is it about pharma that would make a better choice in this case? Is there something in addition to the somatropin that makes it more effective? No, again, the difference between underground lab and pharmaceutical growth hormone is the purity. But if you can get underground lab with a purity of 99.8% and the quote-unquote real or counterfeit pharmaceutical is only 95%, then in this case, the Chinese generics win because the potency and the purity is higher. Now, it could be that for the 0.2% that's impure, you get water retention, side effects, increased blood pressure, weird other things that you did not expect, carpal tunnel, for example. So again, we don't know what the impurities cause. And it could be that a pharmaceutical growth hormone with a purity of 99.7% tested against a underground lab with a purity of 99.8% gives you less side effects, and thus you can run higher dosages, allowing you to grow better, right? We don't know which side effects you get for those impurities. And generally speaking, with the Chinese generics, the underground lab growth hormone, the side effects for the impurities are more substantial. Could be due to the filtration process, could be due to the transport, the hot and cold, right, from some Chinese warehouse into a Chinese the post office where it's super hot, and then it goes into the airplane or it's super cold, and then it lands in your country of destination where it's super cold, super hot, super cold, super hot, and then you get all these misfolded proteins or broken apart proteins that cause side effects. But generally speaking, pharmaceutical growth hormone is better simply because the side effects are less. And again, you know, when you look at the formulations, there's, you know, we found that for it's somewhere in the Anabolic Roundtable show notes, basically, where is it? One of the publication books of PubMed, the publication sites, they listed the additional ingredients of pharmaceutical growth hormone. And you see that what we also discussed on one of the Anabolic Roundtables is that some of these ingredients can actually cause kidney problems, whereas other ingredients or other pharmaceutical growth hormone formulations, or maybe Chinese generics, don't have these ingredients. So there's always a little bit more going on than just the somatropin. And, you know, somatropin is somatropin. It's 192 amino acids, or what is it, 191? Whatever it is. Whatever it is, it's been a while. You know, the amino acids are all the same, but the additional ingredients might be different, and then thus you respond slightly differently. And of course, you get bragging rights if you use pharmaceutical growth hormone, because it means that you're spending an arm and a leg, and you know, it's a difference between a cycle like a bicycle and a real Harley Davidson. All right, let's move on. BMX Sharks had 3 weeks on HGH, 2,000 IOs every other day. Oh man, your balls must have been on fire. Sounds like a lot. Then 3 weeks today, 100 milligrams Clomid and 40 milligrams Nolvadex daily. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because it looks tiny. Test is at 339 nanograms per deciliter. LH is 4.4, FSH 6.7, estradiol 25 picograms per milliliter, progesterone 0.29 nanograms per deciliter. Is it too low for at this point in time? Crab libido erections. Yeah, you need a little bit longer to recover. PCT usually brings your LH and FSH levels up, but you might need a little bit longer for testosterone synthesis in the testicles to really pick back up. So I would continue another week, maybe 3 more weeks on Clomid and Nolvadex, but I would have to dose. So 50 milligrams or 25 milligrams Clomid and 20 milligrams or 10 milligrams Clomid. You can taper that down over the next 2 to 3 weeks. So you might be on these serums for 6 weeks in duration, allowing testosterone synthesis in the testicles to really pick back up again. And then with an LH and FSH around 4.4 to 7, then your testosterone should slowly come up to 500, 600, maybe even 800 nanograms per deciliter. So at this point, it's low. Yeah, so you might need a little bit more selective estrogen receptor modulation for testosterone synthesis to really come back. So just give it time, man. TRT or PCT sucks. It takes time. And even then, after you take the Clomid and Nolvadex out, what's going to happen? LH and FSH is going to drop. Now, obviously, then testosterone is going to drop. Estradiol is going to drop. Now you have zero negative feedback, and then slowly over time, it will come back up again. But this is why nobody ever comes off, because it's just brutal, and you don't feel good. And crab libido and erections, that's part of PCT, man. It's just part of it. That's what you signed up for. Let's see. Oh, this is already missed being on cycle. Yeah, tell me about it. I've come off a couple times, and I always missed it. And then I was off for like a year. Hell. Austin, welcome to the Vigorous crew. What's up, bro? Joshua Perry says for the emperor for sanguineous, however you're gonna pronounce it, for Rural Dorn. He's on a roll today. I'm doing the user test 60 milligrams daily, so that's what 420. Is that true? 60 times 70. Oh, 60 times 77. It's been a while since I did this. Yeah, 420. I was correct. So 420 milligrams test weekly, 8 IUs growth hormone per day, but added in 1 milligrams BPC daily. For the bicep tendinitis thing, it's beyond healing. My skin is getting itchier and I'm growing new veins. Anyone else? Well, maybe you need some rest in that area. The tendinitis, it's usually a structural issue. And, you know, you can only reduce inflammation with BPC 157, TB 500, KPV, GHK copper that much. And sometimes you need some grass-on technique and some deep tissue massage therapy or some shockwave therapy, right? So they put the shockwave or whatever therapy you do on the tendinitis area in the bicep to really break apart the adhesions and the scar tissue and the inflammation. And then once that's done, then the BPC-157 and the TB-500 and all of the other peptides that you're running, including the growth hormone in the test, can actually get in that area and heal it. Maybe you need some dry needling. You know, I did some dry needling on my shoulder here. It's called tout band treatment. I had like this little tendinitis thing right here in my front delta, right? And at one point I couldn't even raise, you know, my do any dumbbell raises anymore. Completely fucked. And then I met some South Korean guy that came here to Thailand for a treatment of another guy that I knew. So I did like 4 sessions with him. It cost me an arm and a leg. He was quite expensive, but hey, if you want the best, you're gonna have to spend some money. And then within 4 sessions, he treated it, and it was there for years. You just did dry needling, just start tapping it and tapping it and tapping it. And I was constantly giving him feedback on, you know, if it was dull pain or actual pain or how it felt inside. And he just completely broke apart all of the scar tissue and the adhesions by doing this a million times. And of course, I was an unusual peptide protocol because why the fuck not? And then it healed. And now I can do dumbbell presses, 40 kilos, no problem. No problem. I'm sure the deck guy's helping also. John Wilson, Steve, I'm on a 1,000-calorie deficit for 10-week cut. Logged average for food intake, 190 to 210 grams of protein, 80 to 100 grams of carbs, 50 to 55 grams of fat. Man, it sounds very low. 1,800 calories on average. Maintenance is 2,800 calories. How often should I refeed and what macros would you set? I think this cut is too low, man. It's too low. Why don't you go to 2,500 calories and you know, throw the peptides at it, the SLU, the Reta, so you don't have to suffer so hard because your metabolism eventually adapts. So I would rather eat a little bit more food, diet a little bit slower, and use the peptides and the mitochondrial support stack and maybe the steps to get the fat off. And then you don't have this tremendous deficit that you will rebound out from hard. Because let's say you have your 10-week cut, and then, well, you finish around Christmas time, and then you have your Christmas dinner. And if you're American, you also have, you know, all kinds of Thanksgiving you have around that time, and then New Year's, and, you know, happy God fucking America Day, and somewhere in January, something like that. You have like 25 holidays in December and January. And then you go to 3,000 calories per day, obviously, and then you're fat as fuck again. So what's the point? 2,500 calories, and then you have to refeed less. And you leverage the peptides wherever you can. Now, on this protocol, I would refeed once a week. Protein would be the same, fat would be the same, but carbs you would 500-600 grams. You know, and you can slowly increase that as the diet progresses. So maybe the first refeed will be 300 carbs on Saturday or Sunday, whatever you prefer. And then the next week, 400 grams, and then 500 grams, and then 600 grams. It just increases as it goes. I've been dieting now for a couple of weeks, and during the week, I eat about 2,800 calories to diet on. And then in the weekend, I have like 600 carbs or something, give or take. Could be 700, could be 400. I don't know. I go to the sushi buffet and I eat until I'm full. And then, you know, then I might have some sourdough bread later in the day, sneak in a couple cookies, and then I'm done. This is where you drop the super chats or questions if you're a member, Gonzo. Oh, you remembered. You better tell my boy happy birthday. I swear Conrad's curse. Joshua will come for you. Yeah, it was my birthday last Sunday, but I decided to have a quiet one because my mom was still here, and I didn't want to deal with all the Instagram DMs. You know, when you're at my following, like 85,000 Instagram followers and 150 or 160 now on YouTube, you make one fucking post, and then you're replying to DMs all day. I didn't want to do it. So, yes, it was my birthday. I turned 42 years old last Sunday. It was a lot of fun. We went to the buffet, the Marriott Marquis buffet. I ate as much food as the Reta allowed me, which means I only had 4 rounds. 4 rounds. Pathetic, dude. Pathetic. But yeah, when you're on like 5-6 milligrams Reta weekly, it's you can't eat that much. unfortunately. And I got this rash here. I don't know what happened. I think one of my cats started rubbing me, probably after licking their balls or something. And now I got like neck herpes. Just showed up today. So, and of course, the color correction is not making it any better. Oh, well. It looks like this this live stream shot at a Nokia 3210. I bought myself a birthday present. I bought a Honda DN01. So now I have 3 motorcycles. I'm done. I'm done now because I don't have any space on my driveway. And then I talked to a couple other motorcycle fanatics. I said, Steve, you know what you need to do? You need to rent a garage, and then you can have as many motorcycles as you want. So I finally found a Honda DN01. It's basically a V-twin scooter, 700cc V or 680cc V-twin scooter. Human-friendly transmission is what it's called. So it just cycles through the gears. Very convenient, but you can put it in manual and just cycle through it yourself. Looks like a shark. I'll post some pictures. I've made a couple of Instagram stories about it. If you saw it already, maybe. I'll tune shit out of it, just like I'm doing with the Honda NM4. That's almost done now. And then, well, if I find a Honda Rune, I might just have to get a garage. All right. More questions. Less motorcycle talk. Jeff, hey, Steve, recently acquired some injectable L-Carnitine and NAD Plus from Somachems. Haven't found clear information on the recommendation dosage for each. Concentration of L-Carnitine injectable is 200 milligrams per milliliter. NAD Plus is 100 milligrams per milliliter. I would do 500 milligrams L-Carnitine and 20 milligrams NAD Plus sub-Q every single day. Now, the problem is that 200 milligrams per 1 milliliter, you need to inject 2.5 milliliters to get 500 milligrams. That's a lot for sub-Q. If you can do it intramuscular, obviously, also, but that hurts more. Now, NAD Plus doesn't really hurt injection-wise, so 20 milligrams is what I do. And then sometimes I take 40 milligrams per day because the injectable pre-workout also has 20 milligrams NAD Plus. And it seems to work quite well. Good for energy levels, good for sleep quality, good for overall well-being, and all of the other metabolic processes that NAD Plus is involved with. And then L-Carnitine, you get some fat loss out of it, obviously, if you're in a caloric deficit and you need some fatty acid transport into the mitochondria. So I would run through that bottle of Somachem's injectable L-Carnitine and then look for a high concentration injectable L-Carnitine. And I think Somachem's has a 600 milligram per 1 milliliter formulation, and then Modern Aminos is 600 milligrams per 1 milliliter. I have some laying around here. Chase Irons, I'm not sure if he still sells it, but he probably also has injectable L-Carnitine. And for all of these companies, got a discount code Vigorous. So high dose concentration is where you need to be. I use Ratio Farm. It's 1,000 milligrams per 1 milliliter. I don't know how they did it, but I only need to inject half a cc per time, and then I get my 500 milligrams in. All right, here we go. Another 20 bucks. Hey, Steve, love your content. Happy to be a member. Question, so you're a member and you're super chatting. This is doubling up, bro. $10 per month and $20 for a question. You don't have to, dude. If you're a member, you can ask questions for free, and I go through all of them. But I'll take your $20 and put it in a cheesecake fund for tomorrow. Question on Primo versus Masteron. You can't find it. What's the point? Nobody has Primo and Masteron. Well, I have Primo and Masteron, but most people don't have Primo and Masteron. Okay, so we're going to assume that you have Primo and Masteron instead. It's both legit. From an anabolic perspective, are they interchangeable? In a deep dive, I believe you said like a 2-to-1 ratio Primo to Mast. Yeah, at this point, we have the Primo camp and the Masteron camp. I'm in the Primo camp. I think Primobolan is anabolic and Masteron is not, unless you really ramp up the dosages. Now, from my personal experience, all of the people that I work with and all of the people that I talk to that I highly respect, comparing 700 milligrams of Primobolan versus 700 milligrams of Masteron, on 700 milligrams Primobolan, you'll build some significant muscle tissue, but you'll also lose a little bit more money because Primo is expensive. And on 700 milligrams Masteron, you look cosmetically better because it somehow dries you out with some anti-estrogenic effects, and whether that's at the receptor side or the DNA transcription side, or preventing the conversion of testosterone into estradiol, you look leaner, but also flatter. On Masteron, on Primobolan, you'll look a little bit fuller. And from my personal experience, on 700 milligrams of Masteron, you'll build significantly less muscle compared to 700 milligrams of Primo per week. Now, there's other camps that say that Masteron is highly anabolic, doesn't cause hair loss. Those guys are all bald. That it's the best thing known to man, and even though they all look like ashtrays, and all these guys look like oxidized scrotuses in the face. I'm not that I'm pretty, but I don't look that bad. So, you know, if you want to take advice from somebody, go with the guy that you like, you know, regarding their information and how they look. And if they look nice and youthful with clean skin, then maybe Primo's for you. And if you feel that they look super jacked and they say Primo's highly anabolic and secretly are running 3 grams of Primo or 3 grams of Masteron per week, then maybe that's what you need to do. You know, if you run enough of it, anything is anabolic, even estrogen. Just be anabolic in your nipple tissues. You know, squirting milk. Yeah. Zach Keen, holy shit, actually catching a live with Steve, or when Steve is live. How's that live, Steve? It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I can highly recommend it. I can highly recommend having a daughter or a son. You know, so whenever you're ready, go for it, and then your whole life will change. Following up on the question. Oh, here we go. Hey, Steve, hope all is well. Your baby girl and your wife. Yes, everything is going good. Doing a 3-step cycle, ramping up the dose each time with EQ and testosterone over a 6-month period. Top dose is going to be 1 to 1.5 grams of steroids. Let's see. Would you introduce EQ from the get-go or stick to bioidenticals first? And for how long before introducing EQ? And it kind of depends on you. If you're going on a 6-month cycle, you do like 200 tests, 200 EQ, 300 tests, 400 tests, 400 EQ, and then where are we? 600 tests, 600 EQ, right? You're ending up at around 1.2 grams of steroids. Then I would do it like that. You know, I would just start it from the beginning. EQ is itself and a couple metabolites, 3 metabolites of EQ are you know, quite potent aromatase inhibitors. So you don't need estradiol management with that. So no aromasin, no arimidex, no letrozole. And EQ is a pretty good muscle builder, and it's available. So unlike Primobolan and Masteron, which can also lower estradiol levels, the EQ is cheaper and it's more available, and it's higher concentration. So 300 milligrams per 1 milliliter allows you to not inject so much oil. So you get a 300 milligrams per 1 milliliter test, 300 milligrams per 1 milliliter EQ, and then the first 2 months, all you need to do is inject 0.66 milliliters test and EQ together. That's 1.3 milliliters in total, give or take. And that's, per day is what, 0.2 milliliters, give or take, 0.17. That's not the end of the world. And then you double that to 0.35, and then you double that again. Or you add 50%, so that will be, let's say, half a milliliter. Half a milliliter. I think that's pretty doable, man. You know, and again, you only have to adjust the dose if progress stalls. So if progress is not stalling at the 2-month mark, assuming you keep increasing the food intake, then no need to up the dose. Maybe you can do it on 200 tests, 200 EQ, and then 400 tests, 400 EQ at month 3. And then at month 6, you're like, you know, this was a lot of fun. My blood work parameters look good. My hematocrit is not that elevated. And then I'm going to slap on another 3 months. Make it a 9-month cycle and do the 600 tests and 600 EQ with some anadrol on top. And the more you can stretch it by staying healthier, the more muscle you're going to build. That's why I'm on long cycles at low dosages. Also, I'm finally going to increase my cycle from 300 tests, 300 deca, and 150 tren to 600 tests, 600 deca, and then I'll probably take the tren out because I had my fun. It's been 6 or 7 weeks on Tren. No real side effects. Made good progress. And yeah, that's pretty good. Let's get the off-season drugs in there. I might throw some anadrol in there here and there. Add some growth hormone in because the high-dose SLU makes me flat as fuck. Yeah, real life. Yeah, I'm a little bit late today. Sorry, guys. Finally tried growth hormone this week. Can't sleep when taking it before bed because it causes hypnic jerk every time I'm about to fall asleep. How to fix it? Oh, where you get those jolts, right? Well, if you notice that, then inject it before the workout. Problem solves. You get those hypnic jerks during the workout, and you build some more muscle. easy peasy. You know, you kind of have to answer it by yourself. That's that way. 50 something dollars. So I'm not sure if that US dollars, but it's probably somewhere close. Master Daddy Coach Steve, how can daily 4 IUs or 2 or 3 IUs of form of growth hormone take? Okay, so we're going to have to translate this a little bit. Take 300 milligrams of weekly testosterone in terms of muscle gain. Given diet is all dialed in. Think of bumping up testosterone intake to 500 milligrams and adding 4 IUs with the current 300 milligrams. I mean, the more gear you take, the more progress you're going to make. So, again, it's not rocket science, guys. 300 milligrams a test plus 2 IUs or 3 IUs of growth hormone. Keep on there until it stops working. Given the diet is slowly increased as well, because right, the steroids don't need to increase as much as the food intake. And then the volume can increase in the gym, and maybe some supplementation. You go from 5 grams to 10 grams of creatine. Ooh. Or 20 grams of creatine. Ooh. And you beat Alzheimer's and sleep deprivation, and improve your cognitive health. And then last we go to 500 tests and 4 IUs growth hormone. It sucks, it's boring, but it helps to keep you alive. So I've been on 750 milligrams for 3 months or something. 300 tests, 300 deca. First, I was 150 mint, and then I ran out, and then I switched to 25 Tren for a week, and then 50, and then 150. Fuck it. Why the fuck not? Right? I'm on methylene blue and fluvoxamine, and I can control myself quite well. So all I had was night sweats, and I think that's also SLU's fault. And now I'm like, you know what? 750 is cute. I'm getting a little bit flat. I'm not really making progress in the gym. I'm not going to increase my food intake because I'm trying to get lean, obviously. So I'm going to up the dose. 600 tests. 600 deca, and then there may be some Anadrol, workout days when I feel like it. So there might be 100 milligrams to 350 milligrams per week. And then maybe throw some growth hormone if I start flattening out again. So I go from 750 to 600, 1200, let's say 1400 milligrams. So I'm almost doubling the dose. Ugh. Well, now we're far away from a chase iron cycle. And I'm not averse to that. Yeah, I'm not adverse to ending up at 3 grams if I need to. But so far, so good. I'm getting pretty lean. Look at all these mosquito bites. That's what happens when you go on holiday and you spend the whole day. I mean, it's getting there. Oh, look at these fucking holes in there, dude. I wish my abs were that lean. I wish my face was that lean. Fuck. My face looks red, and the background looks as green as the, as the super chat. Kratos, welcome back, big guy. Been taking 1 milligram MOTS-c pre-workout 5 times a week, 8 weeks, and haven't noticed much. Really? What's your source? Because I use 1 milligram MOTS-c pre-workout, and I'm buzzing, sweating. But I also take 1 milligram SS31 and 100 milligrams SLU 3 times per day, or 4 times per day, 400 milligrams per day. Yeah, with SLU-PP-332, it's difficult to get fat and very easy to get lean. Very easy to get lean. Yeah. Up the dose or change the source. I noticed 1 milligram MOTS-c right away within 5 minutes of injecting it sub-Q. I'm like, fuck, man, I got to do something. You have to get this rush of energy, and then you want to do dishes or vacuum the house. It's like you're on amphetamines, albeit that it's a level above that, because it's the ATP, so it's not the dopaminergic and the serotonergic and the catecholamine response that you get from amphetamines like Adderall or Dexedrine or good old speed. This is like a level above that, so it kind of trickles down in everything, and you're like, I'm ready to go, bitch. And then 4 or 5 hours later, it kind of starts to wear off, and then you take another shot. Yeah. Thank God all that shit is free. I don't know how we'll be able to afford it. Oh, Solana and Ethereum and Bitcoin are doing pretty well. It's a little bit, might come down today. Might have to sell over the weekend, get that Sunday, Monday dip. Any updates on the DMA you ordered from MA? I don't think it arrived. Did I order it? I did order it. I didn't arrive, and I just got a new package on the way. So I don't know. They also have powdered DMA on bulk stimulant website. Make pre-workout great again. Yeah, it's been a while since I used it. I thought I ordered it, but it didn't arrive. I don't really train that hard that I... No, I do. You guys know me. 3 weeks hard and then 1 week deload. You know, Steve, that's too early. Not if you train like me. So no, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I don't know where it is. I might have to ask again. Like, where's my DMAA? MDMAA? Where is it? You know, where's my M vitamins? But yeah, let us know. You'll probably get it in sooner than we do or than I do, and let us know how it feels. It's been such a long time since I used it. I don't. Maybe I I'll probably have an aneurysm from all the vasoconstriction. Please explain if you can deprioritize HDL during PED use, assuming the following are low or range: LDL, triglycerides, ApoB, lipoprotein, A, high sensitivity C-reactive protein, and blood pressure. Yes, you can not care about HDL unless it's single digits. Now, what is going to increase your HDL? High fat intake. For that, you need to do a ketogenic diet. Fish oil can increase HDL. Citrus bergamot can increase HDL. Amla extract can increase HDL. And blowjobs, giving, not receiving, only giving blowjobs can increase HDL. So I think you're going to be accepting 4 out of 5 choices, unless you play that way. But I think with the first 4, you can already increase your HDL to, let's say, depending on your cycle. I think mine was like 27, 28 on 300 test, 300 deca, and 150 Tren. And you guys know that 150 Tren is notoriously bad for HDL. Maybe not as bad as Winstrol, but it certainly comes close. So, and yeah, my LDL was like 70, triglycerides were like 35, ApoB was in range, lipoprotein little a was 17, sensitivity C-reactive protein 0.5, and blood pressure 65 over 120, 125, give or take. But well, yeah, neck herpes. I don't know what it is, dude. It came this morning. Like every morning I go down, right? I wake up, I have my cup of coffee, I check a couple of emails, and I dispose of the rest. And then I go down to the cat room, which is basically the ground floor. And then I give them some love and attention because I haven't seen a human being for 8 hours because they have to stay in their own room, otherwise they trash the house. Yeah, and then you take one in your lap, you start cuddling and shit, and then this happened. Of course, I shaved, and it kind of opens up the pores and stuff. So tomorrow when I go out, I'll be wearing the Cholo collared shirt. Like this. Can I even close it? There it is. See, my neck is too thick. Anyway, I'll be closing my collared shirt and then do the crip walk through Bangkok, and then nobody can tell that I have neck herpes. Henry, any updates on high-dose SLU? Have you tried injectable 5-amino-1-MQ? Yes, I've tried that also. Been dialing in 25 milligrams sub-Q daily. So I can't say anything about injectable versus oral. I've tried 150 milligrams oral 5-amino-1-MQ, increased my energy level slightly, and made fat loss a little bit easier. And then I tried 25 milligrams, 50 milligrams, and even 100 milligrams injectable 5-amino-1-MQ. And that's always interesting because it's super red. So you can inject coenzyme Q10, super red, B12, super red, and then injectable 5-amino-1-MQ, super red. I tried all of them. And besides the injectable coenzyme Q10, I can't say that I really noticed much of a difference versus their oral counterparts. Now, high-dose SLU is something else. Sweaty, clammy, no rest required in between working sets. It's like the ATP is just back, like this. So, of course, I'm on an extensive mitochondrial stack. So that's MOTS-c, SS31, NAD+, ubiquinol, PQQ, creatine. And then occasionally I take some metabolic modulators like hypoxin, for example, for leg days when I know that I'm going to go ham. So it's, it's very potent. So right now when I do leg day, for example, I put 2 plates, warm up, 20 reps, and then I grab more plates for the machine later on, and I get back on the machine. So it's basically no rest. You walk across the gym, you get more plates, dump them at the machine, then you do 20 reps again. Get more plates, 20 reps on the machine. Get more plates, put a plate on, 3 plates per side, 12 reps. Get more plates, put 4 plates on, 6 reps. Sit there, fuck it. Another set, 6 reps. And you're like, is it time for another set yet? Yeah, like, fuck. Okay, 7 plates or 6 plates, and then 7, then that's a working set. So that's 6 to 9 reps, give or take. And then, of course, you're a little bit out of breath, but even on 150 Tren, with this much SLU, it's like you're not out of breath. So you just sit there like, I think I should wait a minute in between sets before I do another working set. So the ATP regeneration is insane, and the fat loss is very, very easy. Now I had a little bit of a setback because my mom came here, so obviously, you know, you take your mom out to dinner to the Thai restaurants and the steak restaurants and the hotel buffets and the this and the that, and then, you know, instead of having 1 cheat meal on Sunday, you have like 4 cheat meals over the week because mommy wants to go out for dinner. Fine, just join her. And I had some wine and some whiskey and some ice cream. So a little setback. But now that I've been on diet for 4 days, it's like my physique is almost back. So I think tomorrow morning I'll wake up exactly looking like I was 3 weeks ago. And then it's just continuous progress from there. So I plan to do blood work. Let's see, the 8-month mark. So I think I started in September. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's been about 5 weeks. 6, 7, 8. So let's say 26th of October. I'll do blood work, see where I'm at. Hopefully my kidneys are not exploding. All good things come side effects. But yeah, that's it. So I feel a little bit more sweaty in the gym. Hands are a little bit clammy, so I use the chalk, the lifting chalk on chest day and back day, and or pull and push day. That's what I do twice a week. 2 push days twice a week, and 1 pull day, because back is, well, lots so fat you can see them from the front. Let's see, minimal rest required. You just feel like you're rushing through the workouts. And if I didn't get bothered during the workout so much by people that watch the Vigorous Steve YouTube channel, I'd be done in like 40 minutes. So I told Modern Aminos and a couple of the other affiliates just to start cracking out the 20 milligram and 100 milligram capsules and make them affordable, because it's really expensive. High dose SLU, it's already expensive. But I don't think it needs to be that expensive. So hopefully they can bring the price down and make it reasonable, and then people can experiment with 20 milligram capsules and 100 milligram capsules. And it's a big difference. Now, not everybody can stomach 400 milligrams or even 100 milligrams or even 20 milligrams. Everybody's different. The funny thing is with SLU and through what is estrogen-related receptor agonism, you only need a very low dose from a biochemical perspective. So some people already get great results at 250 micrograms or 500 micrograms. Other people say that they don't notice anything. Now, he said because they're mitochondrially fucked. He said because they're not running a mitochondrial support stack like I do with MOTS-c, SS31, blah, 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 right? Where you get a lot out of a little bit of SLU on top of that. Could be. Maybe that they don't, maybe they're a little bit sluggish, a little bit slow, don't have so much energy to begin with. And maybe they need a good couple of months before mitochondrial biogenesis and mitochondrial function really comes back. Maybe their mitochondria are saturated with saturated fats. And it takes a little while before they clean themselves out again, So everybody's different. Most people that I know that live the lifestyle, they notice quite a lot from a little, and they notice a lot from a higher dose. Yeah, and a lot of people are experimenting with that. Don't send me an email asking for my source. You're not going to get it. These guys sell in bulk. You're not going to send them a message like, I want to buy 10 grams of SLU. They're kind of tell you, go fuck yourself. So, it's in the pipeline with some of the affiliates. And then hopefully they'll have some good deals, making it feasible to run. Rise41, what's up, bro? Hello, Daddy Steve. I've watched every Tremolo Sandwich video of yours. Could you elaborate on low dose Tren A's 10 to 20 milligrams every day feels so euphoric, and what to do or look out for when stopping use? It's a dopaminergic feeling. Now, there's not so much scientific evidence on that because, well, Tren A's hasn't been studied in humans, but everybody and their mother that has been running Trenbolone can tell you that motivation, dopamine, libido, and sexual tendencies all go up. And it could be from a serotonin modulation as well. You know, at sometimes you feel absolutely great on Tren A's, and other times you feel kind of down and bipolar and ready to kill people. And your serotonin is probably a little bit depleted. So 5-HTP could fix that for you, or methylene blue, preventing the breakdown of serotonin by acting as a MAOI inhibitor. And increase your metabolism, right? You start to get a little bit sweaty, a little bit more energetic, and you know, maybe that contributes to the euphoria as well. That's why Trenbolone is so addictive, dude. You know, I said I was never going to run Trenbolone again, and here I am running 150 milligrams a week. So that's more than 20 milligrams per day, baby. And what do you look out for when stopping? Well, you don't get that euphoric feeling again, and you know, you feel a little bit down, and libido is less, and the strength goes down. So I take the Tren out, and I double the dose of test and Deca, and then fingers crossed I'm going to be okay. You know, yeah. What goes up must come down, right? Just like every other roller coaster. Kratos, upon waking, I take my fat burners, and 60 to 70 minutes later, I go for 45 minutes ruck, running, 25 pounds. Okay. Ruck. I don't know what that is, but it sounds difficult. Then I have meal 1. Am I risking muscle loss? T4, 150 micrograms, T3, 10 micrograms, Clen, 20 micrograms, SLU, 500 micrograms, and 500 milligrams L-Carnitine NAD. It depends on your heart rate, dude. If your heart rate goes up to 165 or something, then yeah, you might be risking muscle loss. But if your heart rate is a steady 130, 135 beats per minute, I don't think so. That's like the fat burning zone where you don't get any catabolism. And well, you take your fat burners, they're peaking out hard, so you're releasing all of these, adipose tissue from Clen. And the T3 and T4 and the SLU is helping with metabolism, and L-Carnitine is helping shuttling, and yohimbine is 25 milligrams. Or you mean 2.5 milligrams or 25 milligrams? It's a lot, dude. 25 milligrams. That'd be heart palpitations and all that stuff. So I'm assuming it's 2.5 milligrams is yohimbine. And yeah, that's a lot. Jesus. So no, I think it's fine, man, if you keep your heart rate respectable. Oxidized sclerosis. yeah. Nick's not a fan. Oh, there you have it. And Nick's in the running to win the Mr. Olympia. I mean, look at the guy. Jesus Christ. Nick, how much Masteron were you on? 0 milligrams per week. I think if Nick were to run like a gram of Masteron, he would look half as impressive. He'd look flat, and at least he wouldn't have to shave. You know, I mean, he joined me and Chase in the no hair club, so that's good. But I don't think Nick would be that full and that hard and that dense if he was megadosing Masteron. The guys at megadose Masteron, they have a look like the muscle is melting underneath their fat, underneath their skin. It's like it's not hard. It sags. It's like there's no fluid. Nothing is retained within the muscle. From a cosmetic perspective, 350 to 700 milligrams of Masteron really gives you that polish look where the muscle is still full, assuming you're on a good amount of androgens, and that makes you look good. But then if you start megadosing it looks like you're kind of melting underneath your skin, unless you take like 3.5 grams of test and you don't tell anybody about it. If those guys too. Yeah, I really like Masteron, 2 grams. And then, they say that they run low tests, but in reality, they run high tests. And that's why they're so fucking full. You know what you're doing, assholes. You say one thing, you do the other thing. That's not what me and Chase taught you guys. You say one thing, and it's the exact same thing that you're doing. And if Chase is saying he's running test and halo testing into the Mr. Olympia, then that's exactly what he's doing. Not like all these other guys. High Masteron, low test. Sure. Meanwhile, all those high Masteron, low test guys, they can't even place I can't even place. There, I said it. So what's the point? I'd rather just stay home, not waste my time getting on stage. What's up, Steve? Running 140 milligrams testosterone propionate, 70 milligrams Tren ACE per week, everyday injections. That's 20 milligrams test prop, 10 milligrams Tren ACE per day, 30 milligrams in total. 3 weeks in, 15% body fat down to 12% so far. Low libido and have Masteron prop in hand. Worth adding. No, you're dieting. You're going to have low libido. It's part of the game. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You don't have to be horny 24/7. It's okay. Worth adding. What to start? I mean, if you want to start and you're on low dose test and low dose Tren ACE, I would add in maybe 140 milligrams Masteron. It's not going to improve your libido because you're dieting. So you'll look better, and then all the girls are going to approach you, and you're like, "Are you going to take me out to cheesecake, bitch, or what?" And you better have some milkshake between your booty, because otherwise I'm not interested. That peach better be fucking sweet. Otherwise, I'm not going to go down on you, bitch. So your priorities change. You think about food when you're dieting, not about poontang. It's part of the game. Everybody wants like libido 24/7, It's not going to happen, dude. It's not going to happen when you're dieting. Do you think I have great libido? Yes, I do, because I have a hot wife. So maybe you should get yourself a hot wife that walks around the house with no bra and a big old booty, and then 150 milligrams of Tren per week gets it done. So maybe you need to double the test, double the Tren, add in the Masteron, throw the towel on low dose bullshit, and man the fuck up. And then if you want raging boners, then more drugs is probably going to do it. I've got 2 boys myself, 10 and 7. Okay. Well, I don't know how we got from raging boners and libido to 2 boys, but I'm happy for you that you have 2 sons. I'm waiting to do the son implantation in about 9 months. 1 year after my wife gave birth to my daughter, Jadzia. All right, I'm 30 minutes behind. All right, another super chat. Hey, Steve, I got a severe allergic reaction 9 days after taking 1.5 milligrams Reta after I took 250 milligrams of micrograms of SLU-PP-332. What are the odds of that? I'll probably stay away forever from peptides. Still recovering. Never heard anybody get an anaphylactic shock or allergic reaction from retatrutide, but it can happen. Again, what was your source? Did you use bacteriostatic water, sterile water, DMSAO? How did you reconstitute it? Did you keep everything sterile? And some people don't respond well to particular compounds. It's what we have besides retatrutide. We have tirzepatide, and liraglutide, and dulaglutide, and semaglutide, and mazdutide, and cagrilintide, and all the tides. There's so many. There's more peptides than tides are per day. So high tide, low tide, retatrutide, liraglutide, retarded tide. So the odds are very low that happening. And if that happened to you, then switch to something else. Or maybe it's just you. Maybe it has nothing to do with the peptides. Maybe you are unhealthy and you had an adverse reaction to a foreign body that shouldn't cause an adverse reaction because you're not in a good state of health. That happens also, man. That happens also. So I don't know. I don't think you need to stay away from peptides forever based on a bad allergic reaction from retatrutide. But yeah, if you're scared, then it's up to you, man. Let's see. George. Hey, Steve, I've been having blood pressure issues forever. I was on 25 milligrams Tren E, 30 milligrams VAR, and 210 milligrams TSC. Is that per week or per day? I've had done 2 blood donations to stabilize blood pressure, and Tren is gone. What should I do? Blood donations is not going to do much for your blood pressure. Look at the telmisartan. Look at the beetroot extract. Look into daily fasted cardio. Look into high potassium and magnesium intake. I mean, didn't we just do an entire deep dive of 2 hours long on the anabolic roundtable? What you should do is watch that entire anabolic roundtable discussing blood pressure management. That's what you should do. And if you feel that Trembolone and Anavar and test is the culprit, then don't take those drugs. But you're probably magnesium deficient, potassium deficient, and your angiotensin converting enzymes are through the roof. And you can inhibit those with medication. So look for ways to get it under control. Good morning, Steve. Hope you're enjoying this beautiful day. Any recent new rules and laws that are affecting you? Well, the rules and laws in Thailand are, I discussed this with my mom. I was going a little bit too fast in the car when we went to Khao Yai. And she's like, you're going 10 kilometers over the speed limit. And I told Mom, the rules and regulations here are a suggestion, not a hard, not a hard fact. Of course, it's not good to speed, but hey, it happens, man. It happens sometimes. You go a little bit too fast because you're looking at the road, not at your speedometer. And, my foot is muscular. It just wants to, motherfucker, all the way to the floor. And with an EV, it's very easy to put it to the floor because you don't have to shift. It's an automatic. You just, whoop, and you're 200 kilometers per hour in an SUV. Only on the highway, though. So, no, the rules and laws, they always keep changing here. And I keep half an eye on it. And then I always wait for it to come to fruition, and they change it again. So I don't know, man. It's not really worth following. So I think weed was legal, and now it's only legal on prescription. Well, I don't really smoke weed. I'm not really a fan of weed. There's much better drugs out there that I would be in favor of if I were in Holland, for example, or another country. Here in Thailand, you don't really touch that stuff. But if I travel to Holland, then I might partake a little bit, go off grid of Instagram and turn off the phone, and then, do some mind bending stuff. That was not a microdose. I mean, you don't get to wear a shirt like this for no reason, bro. What else is the new laws? Well, there's no taxes on cryptocurrency. So allegedly, that's the way I get my money into the country right now. Not through bank transfers, but through cryptocurrency. So I'm not tax obligated, and I made a good amount of money trading this year. So it's all crypto profits, and it's not not taxable. What other rules? Visa rules are always a bit wishy-washy, but I'm on a marriage visa. I got my motorcycle license and car license already, so that's not going to be an issue. I think in the future here in Thailand, you can't convert your international license to a Thai license anymore. You need to actually do the driving school stuff and pass the 10 hours of driving school. 10 hours. And 2 days on the one day on the motorbike and 1 day practical or a theory. And the theory for the motorcycle and the car is exactly the same, so it's not like you're learning anything. So after I got my motorcycle license and my big bike, my Honda BMW, I was like, you know what? I better learn how to operate this thing properly. So you call one of the services, and then in 3 days, they teach you how to operate a gear bike properly. And I learned more there than I did, going for my motorcycle license. So you get your license, and then you still don't know how to drive. So I know the rules and laws, they keep changing here all the time. They change it to this, and then it goes back again, and they have a tourist tax, and there's no tourist tax, and then they don't want Chinese people, and then they want Chinese people, and they don't want Indians, and now they open it up to Indians. So everything in Thailand is gender fluid, and you just got to go with the flow. And if they want something from me, then they know where to find me, man. You have to report your address every 90 days. So if the Thai government wants something from me, or they feel that I'm doing something wrong, they know exactly where to find me, and then I guess we'll sort it out. But until that time, you just keep living the good life, and not try to piss anybody off, and contribute to the community. And so far, I've been doing that, because when I go to any gym in Thailand, people are very, very grateful of what I brought to their bodybuilding journey. So any gym I go to, I'm well appreciated. The police officers that work with the owner of Muscle Factory, they're also very happy with me, because every time I pass the police blockades anywhere in Bangkok, like, hey, Steve. Okay, guys. Someone motorbike is that. It's Honda and DN01. Oh, never seen those in Thailand. Just because it was never sold in Thailand, and somehow it made its way to Thailand. Yeah, don't ask. Don't ask. Like, what kind of bike is that? That's a BMW. How many cc's? 1250. I said, oh, fuck. That's big. So I wait until I get my Triumph Rocket 3 GT or Rocket 3 Storm GT. 2,500 cc's, bro. It's not a V-twin, but it's got 3 cylinders. And when you start it, it shake to the right or shake to the left. Can't remember. It just, yeah, to the left. You're like, ugh. Because the starting motor has more power than a regular scooter. Like, ooh. So you got to weigh at least 100 kilos before you operate that thing. Yeah, that's on the to-do list. And the Honda Rune. And an Intel Jet Dragster 300. Once they figure out how to, the front steering wheel dragging. Once I figure that out, maybe next iteration. And then maybe a couple electric motorcycles. But importing a bike that's not available in Thailand is a little bit difficult. So I'm 150% import tax. It's not a good idea. Anyway, Lugo, thank you. I asked the HDL question because 30 milligrams Inovar daily had me going from 45 HDL to 21 HDL after 4 weeks. Yeah, that's pretty normal. And everything else was well within range. I was taking the recommended ancillaries. Yeah, and then still with citrus bergamot and amla extract and fish oil, enough Inovar will crush your HDL by half. And if you do another 4 weeks, your HDL is probably 15 to 12. So the longer you take this, the lower it's going to go. Peptide tier list. I think we discussed this in the anabolic roundtable, but all the mitochondrial support stack peptides, I would put in A or S tier. And same as TB500, BBC 157, A tier. And retatrutide S tier, obviously. Code Vigorous at your favorite peptide site. Could be Somachems, could be Omega Aminos, could be Monod Aminos. It could be Science Bio. Code Vigorous will get you 10% off. Wherever you may shop. Yeah, and then there's a million other ones, right? Yeah. Kispeptin is F tier. Doesn't work. HCG, A tier. FSH is the C tier because there's only one purpose. But with HCG, at least, not only do you get spermatogenesis and giant balls, but you also get fucking crazy libido, man. I know the guy that's on low test and low Tren and was thinking about Masteron is now going to add in the HCG. Steve, you should have told me that. Well, it's not magic if you're dieting. Appreciate all the knowledge content you provide. What have some been of your favorite cryptocurrencies to invest in recently? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. And I made a little bit of money on Fun Token and Sui, but that's just pump and dumps, man. Pump and dumps. I was 75% in Solana for a while, and then it went up, and then I watched it go down, and then it went up again, and then I sold at what was it, 235? Yeah. So I'm not 100%, but most of it. So I'm waiting for a little bit of retracement, and then I'll see what happens with the Bitcoin dominance and how the Solana versus Bitcoin evaluation is going. But it seems to be following a little bit of a trend. So it might fluctuate between, right now it's 18,500 Satoshis, give or take. And then it might go up to, let's say, 20,000 Satoshis before peaks and then probably retraces. So I might trade Solana Ethereum evaluation for a while, not really care about, or Solana and Bitcoin evaluation. I think Ethereum is stalling a little bit. Looks boring. And then I might degen into a little bit of altcoins once Bitcoin tops out. But yeah, Bitcoin and Solana back and forth. And I did Bitcoin versus Ethereum back and forth for a while until Bitcoin hit all-time high, or Ethereum hit all-time high. And then I felt that the rally was over. And I think the same is going to happen to Solana. It's going to hit like $295. And then the run is going to be over for a while. And then, Bitcoin is going to run solo. And then, maybe Ethereum and Solana are going to run, and then low cap altcoins. And then, you buy some Pepe and some Shiba and some Doge and let that run. Let that 5x, 10x, put $1 million, give or take. Let that 5x, buy myself another house. Yeah. See what happens. And then before Christmas, I'm going to sell everything. Yeah, but the 4-year cycle is going to be extended to 5 years or 7 years. Sure. That's what they say at the end of every cycle to get the retail in. Oh, you can now trade with your what is it called? Your 401k and your pension, and these institutions can now trade. That's all top signals, dude. You got 3 months left, not even 2.5 months. This is where all the money is made the next 2.5 months, and then before Christmas, I'm gonna sell. I might get back in January for a little pump, and then I'm done. And I'll see you a year later. Of course, I'm going to buy the sell-offs and then sell the 20-week, moving average, the bull market resistance band at that point. So it goes down to the bull market support band. It might bounce off one time, then it goes straight through to the 50-week moving average, then up to the 20-week moving average, and down again to below the 50-week moving average, and then up to the 50-week moving average, and then it's pretty much dead. So in those two trades, 30% retracements, give or take, 20% pump. If you put $1 million, it's like $200,000 you can make if you catch it at the right time. Right, where everybody's panicking, oh, the bull market is over, and then you see 50-week moving average, and it comes up again. You just put the money back in, man. It's whatever you're willing to hodl for the next 4 years, and then you let it come up, and then everybody's like, "Yay, the bull market is back!" And you sell. And they're like, "Why is it not breaking to the 20-week moving average?" Because fucking assholes with money like me are selling there. So, yeah. Anyway, I've been doing crypto way too long. Henry, you got 20 grams of SLU coming in next week. Hopefully, my 100 milligrams to 200 milligram experience is similar to Gorilla Chemist for fat loss. Yeah, I wish he posted some before and after pictures. I'm in talks with him to do a podcast, but scheduling has been a little bit difficult. I've been trying to schedule an anabolic roundtable with Kurt and Dean, and we did like 45 minutes of the previous podcast, and then we had some technical difficulties, and then Dean couldn't make it because he had to go to SN Education, and then I couldn't make it because my mom was here, and then Dean couldn't make it again because it's like a month later that he goes to SN Education and that the gym that he operates. So the next time we record is like the 14th, and then it's been like 2 months. And same with Gorilla Chemist. I wanted to do a podcast with him, and then he goes out on a 2-week trip, and then now the Olympia is coming, so I'm doing the best I can. Yeah, I'm doing the best I can, man. All right, let's skip over all these questions and go straight to the super chats. There you go. Or the member questions. Steve, I've been running 20 milligrams of methylene blue with 500 micrograms SLU 2 times daily and 1 milligram MOTS-c. I'm officially the only electrician on the job site powering things from my fingertips. Yes, I know exactly what you mean, man. Especially after you dose all of that, like. Dude, the 20 milligrams methylene blue is quite a bit. Keep track of your complete blood count in hematocrit. It might drop over time. It's a lot of negative effects on erythropoiesis, it seems, or maybe that's what you're after. So I would do 10 milligrams methylene blue. That's what I take, and then maybe a little bit more SLU, maybe 1 milligram. But you're already taking 1 milligram, 500 micrograms twice daily. So yeah, I know exactly what you feel, man. After you dose that, you're buzzing, dude. You're buzzing. You're unlimited power. Just like in Star Wars. It's fun. Oh, somebody's getting blocked? Let me read. Somebody talking about hide protocols. Oh, he keeps spamming. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right, man. Keep spamming. Retardo is gone. Sorry, guys. It took so long. Sorry, guys. I'm so far behind on the chat. Wise one. I used to stop my small 5 to 10 milligram dose of Lexapro whenever I started a cycle because I assumed it would be a bad mix. Then I hear you talk a lot about SSRIs with Tren. Good practice. Yeah, whether it's Lexapro or fluvoxamine or whatever SSRI you're running, I would just keep running it, man. I mean, fuck, I barely have any of the negative side effects on the mental health from Trenbolone, besides a little bit of road rage, right? But, you try to drive it in Thailand with your wife and kid, in the fucking car. You go fucking mental, dude. All these motorbikes trying to squeeze in front of your car, and you have to hard brake. And then your daughter is kind of like squashed into the seat, starts crying. Yeah, I want to get my baton out, start hammering some people, but of course, then I'm gonna get deported, you know. So you just have to, you know, you have your favorite curse words, so those all come out flying, and they can't hear me because I'm in the car, and they're out on the motorbike, and then I got my frustration out, and you keep driving. And there's no amount of methylene blue, or fluvoxamine, or Lexapro, or dexedrine, no, not dexedrine, vortioxetine, or whatever that can prevent you from that. But besides that, I'm good, man. Yeah, I would keep it in. If we're using injectable carnitine and methylene blue for a mitochondrial support stack, what else would you recommend adding that is synergistic and lower budget friendly? Ubiquinol as another electron donor. And that's about it. And even ubiquinol is kind of expensive. MOTS-c is not cheap. SS31 is not cheap. SLU is not cheap. I think you get the most effects from 500 micrograms SLU. I think that's still pretty affordable. So I would do injectable carnitine, methylene blue, and 500 micrograms SLU. Use my discount code, save 10%, and wherever you might shop. And I think that's the best option, man. And the plus is expensive. Yeah, I think SLU, 500 micrograms. You should notice a difference from that. Steve, don't say hot wife. Oh, I have a hot wife. It's the truth. What is the maximum amount of tests you can run for life without dying from a TRT? And a mixture of tests and Masteron Primo for life. I think, obviously, Stallone isn't really jacked. I mean, go watch season 3 of, what's it called? Tulsa King. I don't know. I wouldn't say that's jacked, bro. Obviously, an HRT is still alive. Yeah, I would do... I know everybody tolerates drugs differently, right? There's bodybuilders that have been saucing their entire lives, and they're still running tests in GH and Primo Masteron if they can find it. So in that sense, you know, everybody's different. I think you can run TRT safely, albeit that you have to lower the dosages over time, and then add in a little bit of growth hormone and you know, whatever you prefer. But maybe Masteron and Primo, maybe to increase your blood pressure too much or get too much suppression of estrogen levels. Estrogen levels usually go down as you age because you get leaner. You know, you get a little bit thinner skin unless you really don't take care of yourself. But then, well, TRT is not for you. You have bigger things to worry about. So, yeah, I think you can run it pretty safely, man. Again, and it's not just TRT that modulates your health. It's the diet and the lifestyle and the supplementation and sleep quality and avoiding alcohol and, you know, yeah, it's a TRT, bro. It's the lifestyle. It's the lifestyle, guys. Let's see. Black Cowboy Boogie. Hey, Steve, 5'9", 195 pounds. It's pretty light, bro. Remember, below 200 pounds is not a man. So you got to gain 5 pounds. Let's go. On 300 milligrams test, 300 milligrams Masteron weekly, 12.5 milligrams Romacin 3 times weekly. Estradiol is 127. Is it picomoles or picograms? Just increased to 25 milligrams Romacin 3 times weekly by adding in and added 300 milligrams of Primo. Do you think the dose of Romacin is too high? I think your Masteron is test. Your Primo might also be test. I hate to say it, bro, but Masteron is hard to come by, and Primo is hard to come by right now. It might be test probe. Might be 300 test probe, 300 test probe, and 300 test probe, and that's why your estrogen is so high. Throw in some EQ. That's not counterfeit. That's cheap. 300 tests, 300 EQ, and then watch your estradiol come down. You know? I mean, the sources I recommend that don't have Masteron and Primo in stock. You know why? You know why? Because they batch test everything and they care about their reputation and the end consumer. And if there's no good Masteron or Primobolan being sold, then they're not going to put that on a product list. So you clearly don't have, your source clearly doesn't care because you're on 600 tests. Get a third party analyzed. I'm willing to put some money on it. Get a third party analyzed, dude. It's send it to Yanushek. Said I've been running 900 milligrams of test the whole time. That's why my estradiol is 125 picograms per milliliter. My nipples are on fire, bro. Super chat was definitely for the birthday cheesecake. You, Kurt Dean, planning on more content. Yeah, so next time we record is next week, Tuesday. Yeah, we're almost getting more busy, because of the exposure. So they're full with clients, and Dean has multiple businesses, and Kurt has like 200 clients. And I just had a daughter, and I just don't give a fuck. Just honestly, dude. Honestly, crypto has been paying. I don't need to work anymore, man. It's just so eventually I'll get back to it. But right now, I'm just maybe after the bull market when I don't have to look at the charts anymore because they're going down anyway. There's too much money to be made. So yeah, scheduling is a little bit of an issue right now because I got a boatload of motorbikes to finish and cats to please and a daughter to raise. But yeah, it's we're recording Tuesday the 14th, and then we'll stick that recording from when was it? Geez, the 3rd of September. Shame on us, dude. The 3rd of September, we recorded for 45 minutes, and then the whole internet went to shit. And then the 14th of October, so maybe on the 20th of October, you'll get like the anabolic roundtable, 30 or 15 and 16 together. Yeah, sorry it takes so long, guys, but it's life is getting in the way. I'm a daddy now. I got responsibilities. Gandalf the Grey. Here. Steve, could you enlighten me on IGF-1 LR3 dosages, storage, backwater, natrium chloride water, so that's sodium water, sub-Q IM. Okay, IGF-1 LR3, 1 vial at a time. 1 milligram. Just do 1 milligram. And you're like, fuck, man, that's $60, $50. Yes, that's why Increlex is cheaper. 1 milligram is, if you get a good source, for $700, $750 divided by 40 is $18, $19 per milligram. So I'd rather use Increlex 1 milligram if you can find it than IGF-1 LR3. I would just do a whole vial per time. That's where I got the best results from. And keep in mind, in the medical insert of Increlex, they go up to 0.12 milligrams per kilogram of body weight to raise IGF-1 levels to like 400 nanograms per milliliter. I think 400 in kids suffering from short stature. So if you're a 100 kilogram beast times 0.12, it's 12 milligrams Increlex per day, bro. Why do you think those vials are 40 milligrams? So I take 1 milligram Increlex per day, and yeah, it increases your IGF-1 levels, but not that much, dude. If you really want to increase your IGF-1 levels, you need 10 IUs of growth hormone on top of that. So 1 vial of IGF-1 LR3, that's 1 milligram, or 100 microgram vials. It's not going to make a difference unless you inject it locally in a body part that's already good. Then you get some localized pump. Storage is you store it in your muscle if you do the whole vial, and you can use bacteriostatic water or normal saline solution or sterile water even, because you go through a vial every single workout. Intramuscularly, preferably pre-workout, about 30 minutes. And then you get a localized response. Because as soon as it goes through stomach, it gets bound up by IGF binding protein 3 or 1 or a couple other ones. And then it's, it's transported all around, and then you don't get that effect in the muscle that you want. Twice daily injection, overkill, and test probe. Yeah, no need, man. Just once per day is fine. Damn, everybody's still bitching about Ricardo. Retardo Jesus. Jesus, you're retardo. What the fuck? Oh, sorry for that boiling water. That's we have a water boiler here that keeps the water at 45 degrees Celsius so we can make breast milk. You know? All right. Thanks for providing the technical insights in crypto investment. Do you recommend to learn from the start developing a solid base in crypto stock investment? Is this a shell account? These are shell questions. Yeah, here, same. Would you consider offering crypto stock investment training to people? No. Just go to crypto channels, man. I'm an expert on PEDs and an expert on crypto, but for myself, not to teach. And plus, people don't listen with half an ear open. So I would teach in the best way possible, and then you still lose money, because you bring your emotions into it. So no, go to the crypto channels and ask there. Camel Finance, that's a good crypto channel. Also had a son recently. Yeah, also goes to the gym. Or Casper, Jason Casper, also goes to the gym. That is on the treadmill the whole time during his live stream. Let's see. Scroll down a little bit. I need to catch up. But at the Zeus, I got 2 vials of Primo that unfortunately ended up being very underdosed. EQ, yeah, that happens. Primo right now, I wouldn't even touch it with a 10-foot pole unless you bought it before the drought. What would be the best way to add it to my TRT protocol? 200. Just throw it away, man. Just throw it away. You don't know what else is in there. So it's 35 milligrams per 1 milliliter Primo. Just buy, or EQ. Just buy some EQ that's 200, 300 milligrams per 1 milliliter. So you don't have to worry about contaminants, because you send it to the Genotropin, it tests for steroids, but not for other particles. So just throw it away. Don't be cheap. Don't be silly. And buy some real fucking gear. Is AP down permanently or temporarily? Temporarily. You got, I don't know, it's some issue with the website, so it was taken down from the domain register, but not the hosting. So the hosting is totally fine. It's somewhere else. So I was going to look for another register, and then anabolicpharmacist.to will probably convert to .net, and then I'll update all of the links. So the other website is still online. That's anabolicpharmacist.com, I think. Yeah, so the .com is still online, right? .to and .com is the same guy, but the TO is automated, so you could use cryptocurrency and the credit card to purchase your over-the-counter supplements. Something in my eye. And the .com was direct contact through Proton Mail. And then cryptocurrency payments, and then a couple back and forths for the address, and then you get your stuff in the mail that way. So .com, .to, same guy. One is automated, one is manual, and there will be a .net or a .something else in the pipeline. It will come back in a couple of days, then I'll update all of the links. I might make an Instagram story like, hey, AP is back. And remember, guys, without AP, me and Chase would not have kids, because he sponsored us so much fucking peptides during this protocol. AP is a fucking saint, guys. It's one of the best in the business. I consider him a dear friend, very good guy, solid dude to talk to, very smart. And yeah, without him, a lot of people would not be getting their fix when it comes to supplementation. So don't worry. He's not down forever, just a small setback. He'll come back with a bigger website, bigger than ever. And yeah, he's got a very nice line of products as well. Jordan Rosengarten, what's up, bro? I think you once said taking glucagon right before doing cardio sucks and your love handles. Does Reta have the same effect? You mean the localized fat loss? Yes. Yes, 0.5 milligram glucagon left, right. So that's 1 milligram total, over a 1/4 milligram for 0.5 milligram total. It will literally create divots into your love handles. But retatrutide has no localized fat loss. I think retatrutide has a... was it 17 or 22%? It's quite low affinity for the glucagon receptor compared to actual glucagon. I mentioned it in the retatrutide deep dive, but I can't exactly remember what the affinity was. But it's significantly less than glucagon. So if you take 1 milligram retatrutide 3 times per week or every day, you still get only a fraction of glucagon agonism. So even if you take 0.25 milligrams glucagon daily, you get more agonism, more of a localized effect than you actually get from retatrutide. So I've been shooting retatrutide around my butt cheeks, and it's only getting more chunky over there than the other parts, because I'll do all my subcutaneous injections on the butt cheeks, because well, when you stand in front of the mirror, you want to flex your quads, you want to see some striations, right? Striations. But in the glutes, there's no striations yet. In the upper glutes, it's nothing, but in the lower glutes, it's coming. So no localized fat loss from retatrutide, but from glucagon or Helios, absolutely. Yeah. Trading is 90% emotions. True. Yeah. True. That's why most people don't make any money. Because you reach your target, and then you're like, I'm going to give it a little bit longer. It's going to go up. And then when it reaches the bottom, I think it's going to go lower. And then you don't buy or you don't sell, which means you break even at the end of the year. So you do your technical analysis when you buy. You said, I think it's going to go to here over the next couple of days. And then you look at the money flow and the volume. And then you sell. And if it goes up, fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, bro. You just look for a new trade. And if the trade, let's say you sell at a Bitcoin at $120,000, and you bought at $110,000, it goes up to $120,000. You made profit there, right? It's 10%, almost 9%. And then you buy back in at $122,000, and you sell at $150,000. You make profit again. And most people are like, "Oh, you should have hold. You should have done this. You made a loss of $2,000 from 120 to 122. No, motherfucker. You had two trades, and you made profit on both of them, because in your technical analysis, you thought that 120,000 was going to be resistance, for example, and that you could buy back in lower. And when it touched on support and broke through upwards resistance and then made that support again, then you buy back in. So you could have gone from, you sold at 120, it goes down to 108, and then it goes down to 124, right? So it doesn't matter what the total price is. You buy low, you sell high. Yeah, but you either get it or you don't. Steve, why do you have so much motorbikes? Because I take the emotion out of trading, you know? And even then, how the fuck can you lose all your money buying motorbikes when they're all secondhand? You buy all your parts on AliExpress. Bought some handlebar blinkers for like $3 or something, and they look great. And the same handlebar blinkers are $20 on Amazon. Get fucked, dude. Somebody says I missed the super chat. Missed that picture. All right. If somebody's blasting 500 test E and trying to get dice, should they jump on 4 IU's growth hormone fasted, or is there any point baby stepping it? I would start with the 1 or 2 IUs. You know, if you're and blasting, it's 500 test is not blasting, man. That's cute. It's TRT for 2 people. Shut the fuck up. Sports TRT for 2. That's not blasting is over a gram. And otherwise, you just call it a cycle. I would start with 2 IUs growth hormone, see how you respond, and then you can go to 3 or 4 IUs because, well, you don't want the carpal tunnel, the water retention, the blood pressure increase, and you need to learn how to manage it. So if you're new to this shit, which you probably are because, well, you call a 500 test cycle blasting, you're probably new to this shit, and you think 4 IUs of growth hormone is a lot. Start low, build your way up, and take it from there. Jacob, welcome to the Vigorous crew. Get those questions going, bro. Fair enough. I will take the L and get on something new. Would Masteron EQ be better TRT plus add-on for boosting and anabolism and get some E2 regulation? And what would be the best dose to start at? Whatever dose on TRT you are at, add in the same amount of Masteron or EQ, because it seems that a 1-to-1 ratio for most people. I know everybody's going to reject that, but hey, if you're just getting started, 150 tests, 150 Masteron is a good place to start, and then you do blood work 4 weeks into it. And then adjust. If your estrogen is high, increase the Masteron or lower the test, whatever you prefer. And if your estrogen is low, increase the test and lower the Masteron. And same for EQ, man. So you start somewhere, you do blood work to confirm, and if the blood work is slightly off, then you manipulate your dosages and go another 4 or 6 week stint of making progress, and then you do blood work again. Yeah, but you have to do blood work so much. Yeah, but there's no clear guidelines, man. Your blood work will tell you what you need to do. Steve, can you pound women harder on cycle? Yes. Yes, because you have more momentum. You're more of an unstoppable force. You know, you have more muscle mass. a lot of hip. Assuming you do like 3 to 4 plate hip thrusts, you are pounding away until the bed breaks. Yeah, and women seem to love it. From my experience, GH before bed made me hot and unable to sleep. Last meal was 5 hours before bed. Yeah, GH increases your metabolism. So maybe you need a fan at the foot end of your bed, and then you can keep cool. I sleep in the air conditioning. I have a blanket that's basically a towel. So it's a towel that's gigantic. You can find these on Amazon. It's very easy. Just, a blanket towel. What is it? 10 foot by 4 foot or something like that. And then you that permeates the air quite easy. So the air conditioning is blowing through the towel, and the fan at the foot end of your bed is blowing through the towel, and that's how you keep cool. And if you do sweat, you're sleeping under a towel. Fucking asshole. You can wipe your body dry. So that's what I have, like 10 of those. And yeah, it works well. Okay, so visit, I skipped your super chat. So now I got your username. Here it is. Sorry about that. What's your Accutane protocol dosing and time? I must have subs and meds to stay healthy. Tried everything and have stubborn acne. Okay, so first you have to avoid all the causes that can cause acne. So that's dairy products. That means whey protein as well. Take those out. Butter, cheese, all kinds of dairy products, all kinds of processed foods. Take those out. Hygiene. Clean your clothes. To change right after you come back from the gym. You take your clothes off. Shower before you go to the gym, shower after you go to the gym, shower in the morning, shower before you go to bed, and 4 showers per day. You want to be acne-free, bitch, or what? Yes, 4 showers per day. That's what I do. And I still got fucking skin. Well, that's from my cats, I think. So this is not acne. This is an ingrown hair. I had to only shave, fucking millimeters deep. But I'm acne-free, bro. Well, these are mosquito bites. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is, bro. What the fuck is that? Yeah, another mosquito bite. Fuck, man. Should stay. I shouldn't go outside. You don't look at my butt cheeks. It's all fucking sub-Q shots. So you got to address the root cause first. If you have bacterial overgrowth on your skin, Accutane is maybe going to make it worse in the beginning. So I would do doxycycline first, 100 milligrams morning and evening, for 2 weeks to kill all of the bacteria. Yes, you need to do a gut microbiome reset after that with sauerkraut and kimchi and probiotic foods, because, well, doxycycline kills all the bacteria, but it will kill the one on your skin as well. Or you can use some sort of topical biotic, but then you have to rub yourself down from, top to bottom. So that's something. You have all kinds of what is it? Acylic acid. I have one here. What's in here? Salicylic acid. Yeah, controls acne. This is not for me. This is for the cats. They have like acne here. So you put a little bit on their chin, and then it opens up the pores, and you can pop those pimples once a month. And then they look a little bit more appealing, basically. Besides having these giant fucking, I have like 2 cats with giant fucking pores here. And yeah, so, but they rub everything, they lick everything, they're the less hygienic animals than humans. And we shower them once a week, not 4 times a day. Anyway, so you can use something like this with salicylic acid. And when all else fails, 10 milligrams Accutane 2 times a week, maybe 3 times per week in the morning is enough to keep the acne at bay. And if you want your acne to be gone indefinitely and risk cracked lips and dry skin and sore joints and mood disturbances, then it's up to 80 milligrams Accutane per day. That's what they prescribe. Up to 80 milligrams Accutane per day for 3 to 6 to 9 months, even depending on the severity of your acne. But again, you can keep the Accutane dose low if you're proactive on how to manage your acne with the other methods I just discussed. And otherwise, type in acne on the YouTube channel and you get like 6 or 7 videos. All right. Scrolling down. Back to the super chats. Oh, here. Steve, have you heard about low-dose naltrexone to burst endorphins, but sweet baby Jesus, it takes 8 weeks, and through it, you feel no joy, regardless mitochondrial stack for voxamine. Yeah, I don't really know much about low-dose naltrexone. So you're at the wrong address for that. I'm sorry. I've heard about it. I've heard a lot of people get great results from it, but I never really looked into it because all the issues that low-dose naltrexone is beneficial for, I don't have. And I got to try it on myself first before I recommend it to people. But if I don't suffer from the issues that LDN is used for, then how do I know if it works? And I do like to feel some joy. So, yeah, sorry about that. It's not something I can help with. Tren's looking sweet from the top shelf in the kitchen. Yeah, it looks better when it's in the syringe. You can watch it go in. But, watching things go in is always very satisfying. And it's gone. Ta-da! Yeah. Oh, and there it is again. And it's gone. And there it is again. And it's gone. You know what I'm talking about. Come on now. Has your AccuChange protocol changed, or would you still recommend 0.5 milligram per kilogram total per day? I don't think I ever recommended that. I recommended 10 milligrams to 10 milligrams 2 to 3 times per week to keep it at bay, and then whatever you need to ramp up the dosage to get it under control. But for that, you better discuss that with a dermatologist. How long duration would you recommend to stop acne? Yeah, it could be 80 milligrams per day up to 9 months. And some people run it for 12 months, dude. That's a lot of side effects, a lot of dry skin, a lot of dry joints, a lot of cracked lips. And these guys are basically swimming in Vaseline, to keep their skin somewhat moisturized. Holy shit, $50. Here we go. Hey, Steve, during my competition, I was doing 35 milligrams tirzepatide weekly. Holy shit. Your tirzepatide dose was as generous as your super chat amount. 3 milligrams semaglutide and 12 milligrams tretinoin. I freaking know, insane. You must have thick pockets, bro. That's let's see, 120. It's like $500 worth of GLP-1s. And I'm off. I literally became insulin resistant. 12 to 18 weeks fasting insulin. What's advice moving forward? I think you need to discuss this with a doctor, because I've never talked to anybody who ran such high dosages of GLP-1s. The doctors probably also not, but they have more experience prescribing these kinds of medications at higher dosages. Like, I would never recommend 12 milligrams Reta or 35 milligrams tirzepatide. Maybe 3 milligrams semaglutide or 7 milligrams tirzepatide or erythritide per week, like 1 milligram per day. That's the highest I would advise if you really need it. The highest I would personally take. Maybe 3 milligrams semaglutide. I've gone up to 1.8 milligrams liraglutide per day when that was the only one available. So that's like 12.6 milligrams, but it's reasonably, or it's not as potent as the other ones on a milligram for milligram basis. So now I would consult with a doctor, dude. I have no idea how to get you off insulin resistance. Because it seems like a very complicated situation, and it's not something that I found in the scientific evidence. So no, man, I would try to find a doctor that prescribes this stuff for obese people and then discuss it with them, because this is well beyond me, and I don't even want to start to speculate. We have plenty of educators who are going to speculate at this point in time, but I'm not one of them, right? We have guys that claim to be doctors when they don't have an active medical license. We have guys that claim to cure cancer, but they can't show any anecdotal reports of people being cured by cancer. This is the influencer and education space that we live in. So I'm going to have to plead a fifth and say, I'm sorry, dude, but you're better off with a professional. It's well beyond me. It's well beyond me. So, and I hope you learned something from this, because this much GLP-1s it will obviously cause issues, and that's what you're suffering from now. So get some, get some proper medical guidance, man. I don't think anybody would know what to do with this unless they're prescribing GLP-1s. And maybe at Merrick Health they know how to do this, or I don't know, somebody who specialized in diabetes and these kinds of medications. It's sorry, Can't do much for you. What's the best stack for jiu-jitsu athletes competition training? Focus on strength, endurance, and cardio output. Curious what you recommend for test base and peptides. I discuss all of this in the MMA stack, so go watch that. All right, MMA stack. All you have to do, MMA PED stack. You just do TRT and the mitochondrial support stack, peptides, and the myoinositol tripower to help with oxygenation. Maybe some EPO, but maybe some nootropics for gripping, right? And hand-eye coordination, maybe some amoxapine. But I discuss all of that in the MMA stack. It's not something I want to spend 30 minutes on right now because of a video, because there's quite a lot to go into. But really, I discuss everything. I discuss everything in that video. So please go there. Steve, I'm trying to get supplements for health on cycle. Do you recommend the guy half your size take all your recommended year-round supplement stack, or just stick with the most popular ones for each organ? Yeah, I would just stick to the most popular ones and only add in the ones at higher dosages when you feel you need them. So if you're half my size, you would be 50 kilos, right? So let's say you're 70 kilos. Yeah, and you're probably running less dosages, so you don't need 3 grams of astragalus root extract, maybe 2 grams or 1,500 milligrams or something like that. And instead of 400 milligrams to 600 milligrams ubiquinol, you run 200 milligrams, right? So start low and increase as needed. And if you don't notice a benefit, then you drop the dose again. It's not rocket science. Then again, guys, I can run these supplements indefinitely at higher dosages because I get it all for free, right? I worked very, very hard in my life to get everything for free. So I get it free from Gorilla Mind. I get it basically free from iHerb because you guys use my code. So I just launder the affiliate sales to the supplements, and then I get it for free. And so I don't have to pay for that shit. So I can just run whatever at the efficacious dosage because I don't have to care about the cost. But if you have to care about the cost, and especially now with the economy going down a little bit, yes, the crisis is coming. Just because the stock market is going up doesn't mean we're not in a recession, bro. I got to buy my supplements through Klarna. I got to buy my ubiquinol in 4 installments. Right? I shouldn't laugh, but that's what people do. So no, just add in the ones that make the most sense to you. And again, in most of the segments, I discuss why certain compounds need to be added for particular other drugs that you're taking. So you don't need to be on a full stack of ezetimibe, bergamot, and amyl extract, and high-dose fish oil if you're only on TRT, because your HDL is not that low. Your LDL is not that high. So add it in when it's needed, and then run it for the time that you need it. And then once you go back to a cruise dose, you take supplements out. That's what I do. Right now, my supplementation is a little bit higher, especially in the astragalus root extract, because I just added in the Tren. I might stay on Tren. I just don't have any stock right now. I ran through that as well. So again, I'm trying to clear through my stock, and then I have to decide if I want to get some more. So the Tren's out because I ran out, and then I might get another vial. But do I really want to run another 6 weeks of Tren when I just completed a 6-week Tren run? On 100, that's 12 weeks on 150 milligrams of Tren. Better do some blood work first. Steve, what are you doing, bro? Steve. Man, a lot of $50 super chats, but this is our dollars, right? So is that our dollar currency? South African rand. Oh, that's nothing, dude. Brazilian real. Sorry. Brazilian real. How much is that? I wish I would able to do the currency conversion. 50. That's still $10. It's still good. All right, I'll spend the time. What's your take on DHT and estradiol when talking about libido and acne? Primo gets my DHT to 2,000 levels and apparently fires up acne and gets me irritated with low libido. I'm still trying to figure out if estradiol could be the culprit. 65 grams per milliliter, but it was 80. Your Primo detects as DHT? That's new to me. Hormonal fluctuations contribute a lot to libido fluctuations and acne. So if you inject everything daily, regardless of esters, I think your libido is going to be stable and your acne is going to be at bay. So instead of injecting Monday, Friday, inject every day. If that doesn't work, inject every day sub-Q instead of intramuscular. That will give you even more stable levels. And a 60 estradiol should give you good libido, man. But it could also cause a little bit of acne. And again, like I mentioned before a little bit earlier, if you weren't around, use the fucking timestamps. We're not going to repeat it. Acne and libido, for that matter, is multifactorial. So let's go for libido, for example. If your girlfriend's not hot and she gives you a headache and she's bad with money and you don't really respect her, then you don't feel like fucking her. It has nothing to do with your libido. It has to do with the girl that you're with. But if your girl's hot and she dresses up and she doesn't give you a headache and she takes care of your daughter, even if she's a little bit chunky after postpartum, right? And the skin is a little bit loose in the abs, because she fulfills all the things and she doesn't cost you a dime, your libido is still going to be high, even on the diet, you know? So maybe it's not you, maybe it's her. I hate to say it, dude, but people think I'm a libido, so, and then you look at the girlfriend and say, yeah, I know where your libido is low, man. Fuck. Not saying that your girlfriend is ugly, but you'll be surprised, man, how many consultations I have with guys, and then, you know, you're like, you know, what's the girlfriend like? Is she fit? Does she dress up? Does she give you a headache? And you hear that they start rambling, and you clearly hear that they don't respect their partner, or they don't really appreciate the partner. It has nothing to do with your dick. The girl is not for you, man. So, and if you get horny for porn, or horny for random chicks that you meet outside or see at the gym, then it's not your libido, man. You just got to change partners. So that could be a problem. And same for acne, right? Dairy products, poor hygiene, bacteria on the skin, besides hormonal fluctuations, it can all contribute. So you have to go through the checklist of libido. I made one video about the last libido video you ever need to watch that discusses everything from root causes to solutions for every root cause. And sometimes that means you just got to change the partner. Go to the massage parlor, man. Let's see if you can get your dick up. You just go there, you pick a girl, pay the money. And if you can get your dick up, it has nothing to do with your estrogen levels. Because, dude, those girls, they know exactly how to get your dick up. So, what's your thoughts on the huge shows? I discussed this like 3 times already during this live stream. So, please use the timestamps when we're done. But it works. It works. Hey, Steve, I'll be hopping on soon. My only issue currently is low blood volume and red blood cell count, leading to dizziness, shortness of breath, rapid heart rate. Any tips? It's the last thing I need to fix before hopping on. Low blood volume you can increase with sodium, and low red blood cell count. I mean, you need nutrients to produce red blood cells. That includes iron, vitamin B9, vitamin B12. You can take a B50 complex or a B100 complex for that. Shortness of breath could be due to the low blood volume or the low red blood cell count and low hematocrit. Rapid heart rate from low blood volume. So it sounds to me that you just need to work on your health and eat better, and have a look to see if you don't have any bone marrow failure, which is something that TRT can help with, because it literally stimulates erythropoiesis and increases your blood pressure. So again, you're not telling me the full story. So recommending you to go on TRT to resolve these issues is kind of presumptuous, but it could still offer solutions to all the problems that you're suffering from. But it will be in your best interest to increase your sodium intake, increase your vitamin B complex intake, your iron intake, eat a little bit better, do a little bit more cardio, and just get it in an overall better state of health, and then take it from there. You know, because it could also make it worse. D-Brats. Hey, Steve, adding 500 micrograms SLU-PP-332 to 6 IU's growth hormone and 1.5 milligrams Reta too tight. Is that per day? 6 IU's growth hormone per day and 1.5 milligrams Reta per week? Guys, just give me the frequency. And 300 milligrams Wellbutrin daily again, and some albuterol, and the SLU is crazy for energy. How do you tolerate grams of it? Well, me and Chase, seem to tolerate drugs quite well. It's not something that I'm proud of, but I don't know, man. I started low, I built my way up, and even at 400 milligrams per day, I besides the sweating, I mean, when I work on my motorbike or when I go to the gym, it's fucking dripping off, dude. It's like DNP or high dose Tren. But I've done it in the past, and I know how to deal with it. My core temperature doesn't really go up that much. I don't feel toxic, not at all, not in the slightest. Even I feel actually very, very good and energetic and healthy and cognitive. Unlike DNP or high dose Tren, I literally felt sick. So yeah, besides the sweating, I don't really notice any side effects, but I still need to do some blood work. So let's see what happens. The people that I know that did high dose SLU up to 400 milligrams did before and after blood work, and again, it barely changed. If anything, triglycerides went down and LDL went down a little bit more, and hemoglobin A1C went down with 1 or 2 points because you get better glucose management in the bloodstream. So let's see what happens there. And then besides that, yeah, it's just it's pretty doable. But again, if you get a low dose benefit at 500 micrograms, which is what most people are running, then just keep it there. I know, just because I did this experiment doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't mean you can even, because 50 grams of Reta or SLU is not cheap, man. And I got 100 grams of this shit laying around. Justin Craig, currently 750 test, 750 EQ, 300 Tren. Nice. First time using Tren. Only side is insomnia, using 0.5 milligrams alprazolam to sleep. Come on, man. You can't use that daily. Is it okay from an anabolic perspective? No, it's because you get addicted to that shit. So use something else. I have 4 videos. Four videos on how to improve your sleep. And one of them is to lower the Tren dose. One of the solutions is to go from 300 Tren to 150 Tren, and maybe use a little bit of GABA with your EQ and Tren. That it will kind of calm you down. Maybe use some L-theanine. Maybe use some saffron extract. Maybe use some blue light glasses. Maybe not drink caffeine after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. All the things I didn't do today. Today I had caffeine at 11 o'clock. It's now 2 o'clock in the morning. But hey, you guys wanted to see a vigorous Q&A, so here I am, high on caffeine. And then I took my uppers, and then I got to take my downers, which is just Gorilla Mode or Gorilla Dream. And then I'll add in 10 milligrams extra melatonin. And then I go drool on the pillow. Yeah, like, I don't know who drools more, me or my daughter. The difference is, when my daughter drools, it's cute, and when I drool, it's disgusting. I took it when we were on holiday. We rented this. Let's go off topic a little bit. We've been going on for 1 hour 50 minutes. It's time to go off topic. We rented this house in Khao Yai National Park. You have this big national park in the middle of Thailand. It spans 4 provinces. There's 2 roads through it. So we went around, and then we took the road through it on the second day. And we right at the national park through one of my wife's former clients, as he personal trained all the rich people and all the the hip jet setters in Thailand, right? She personal trained at one point until I retired her. I said, here, just sit at home. Here's your money. Just be a mommy. One of her clients has the amount of land. It's like half the top. Basically, you have the national park, 3 provinces, and they have like half, like a little strip right against the national park. Right against it. Not in the national park, that's not allowed, but right against the national park. So you wake up from your very nice log cabin, right? Cabin in the woods, very scary. In this private area that has like 50 houses or something, and a lake, and a golf course, and all that stuff. So we're there, right, with my mom and her mom and myself, 4 bedrooms. And where was I? Oh yeah, I was taking a nap, and I was drooling on one of the pillows, and my wife got so pissed. Yes, of course the maid is going to complain to her former PT client, like, her husband drooled all over the pillows. What the fuck? So I left a fat tip And I told her, I'm sorry. It was a 3-hour drive and I needed to take a power nap and turn it to a 1.5 hour power nap. And the CPAP only goes on the nose, but not in the mouth. So yeah, the pillow was destroyed. Well, I should have brushed my teeth. Considering your mitochondrial support stack, what do you keep that feeling on edge, literally walking through a wall with a smile, while sit energy not becoming that you feel normal baseline? Okay, we have to work on the transfer of knowledge. Well, as long as you keep taking it, you feel like you can run through a wall. But obviously, when you stop, that feeling goes away. Like when you take drugs, you're renting that feeling. You're renting your gains. And when you stop the drugs, the gains go away. Stop going to the gym, gains go away. You stop eating the protein, the gains go away. You stop eating healthy, the gains go away. You stop injecting the drugs, the gains go away. You stop injecting the mitochondrial support stack, and the energy goes away. And that's why PED sales are ever continuing. And that's why affiliate sales never goes down, because you have to keep taking this shit. Now, we cycle through them, obviously. But yeah, with these mitochondrial support stacks, you don't really see anything negative on your blood work. You don't really experience any side effects, assuming you keep the dose moderate. But if you go to 10 milligrams MOTS-c, then you get an anaphylactic shock or severe rashes. But if you take 1 milligram, then it's quite tolerable. Maybe get some side injection irritation, but 1 milligram per day is pretty doable. Even twice per day is pretty doable. But 2 milligrams in one shot, and then you're like, ooh, shit, take me away, man. Send me to jail. I don't want to deal with this rash and itchiness. You get like this, but all over your body. Whew, nasty. So yeah, as long as you keep taking the stuff, as long as you keep going to the gym, you take the supplements, then you have aura for days, and you stop, and then you go back to natty old self. That's part of the game, man. You're just renting this feeling. You're just renting it. Okay, skipping a few. How do you take 18 IU's growth hormone post leg day once a week and not get dizzy as shit, and the Bivol post workout and whatnot in the morning? Oh, so the Bivol is there to kind of reduce the the adrenaline. Like my leg days, especially quad days, are kind of violent. A lot of heavy weights and heavy lifting and grunting and screaming and all that shit. You don't want to be around me. And then I take an Bivol 5 milligrams before bed, depending on the workout. Sometimes I take it, sometimes I don't take it. This week I didn't take it because I'm just getting back into the gym after 3 weeks of flakiness, showing my mom around Thailand, giving her the royal treatment. So I skipped a couple workouts, and the workouts that I did do were, I know, kind of pathetic. For my way better than anybody else would do on their best day. But for me, it's pathetic. And I have high standards. He did like 8 reps instead of 12, and then you hate yourself, like, fuck, stupid bitch, why you only did 8? Because you've been drinking and smoking, fucking idiot. Anyway, so you don't take Bivol in that case, but if you do get the 12 reps and then maybe a 13th one, and you're wondering like, how the fuck didn't snap myself in half doing this exercise, then yeah, you take the Bivol, bring the adrenaline signaling down, get your heart rate down, allow you to rest and digest and get into recovery mode again. And then the 18 use growth hormone sub-Q. I don't get dizzy from that, man. Just get sleepy. Let's get sleepy, and then the adrenaline goes away, and I bliss out, and then I drool in the pillow, and then next day I got to change my pillow sheet because it's covered in stains. So it seems to work quite well. My legs suck. I'm going to be honest, man. Did my membership go through? Well, I see your name is yellow and you got that nice check mark. So looks like you're part of the Vigorous crew, bro. £20. Man, we're fucking killing it. I should do it less often so you can get more super chats. I just had surgery and can't train for at least 2 years and no cardio for a minimum of 1 year. Man, do you get spine surgery? 105 kilograms, 15% body fat, 177 centimeters, thinking about 300, 500 tests per week to prevent muscle loss. What do you suggest? Any other tips? I would just do TRT, man. 500 tests. If you're not training, Too much. 150 tests, and you're going to lose muscle. Can't train for 2 years. Are you doing like the leg extension surgery? Tell me what surgery you're doing, man. For 20 pounds, I need to know more. Man, for this much poundage, I would like to know more. So what kind of surgery are you doing? Back surgery, limb extension surgery. 177 centimeters, not short. I'm 175. I still got married, still got laid, many times, many a time. No, but if you're not training and no cardio, 150 tests TRT, you're going to lose muscle, man. You can use a little bit of growth hormone on top of that, and these Garetismab and Bimagrumab and Trevogrumab. Stop listening to Mike Israel. It's fucking retarded that he makes his videos, and honestly, the scientific evidence interpretation is lackluster for somebody that should know better. And these drugs aren't even available. So what's the point talking about it? Bioglutide, it's now slowly hitting the market. Some people has got their hands on it. There's no CAS number, so that's a little bit of a red flag. So, okay, bioglutide might be sold, but is it really bioglutide? I haven't seen any third-party tests yet. And if there's no CAS number, there's no reference standard. So that means you can't do third-party testing using a reference standard to make sure that the bioglutide is actually bioglutide. So it's pointless to talk about it. All right. The Grumups, forget it. Forget it. So 150 tests, 2 years growth hormone, and tell us what kind of surgery, what kind of crazy surgery you're going to do that, or the surgery that you just did that prevent you from training for 2 years, because that's pretty crazy. Steve, have you ever looked into vagus nerve stimulation and its effect on improving sleep? No, not really. I should, because I heard a lot of reports that it works. You have those machines where you stick it somewhere. I don't even know where it was. Is it here? That's how little I know. Is it up your buttocks? Is that that's another nerve, right? This is a prostate exam, prostate climax. Or is it the back of your neck? I don't know. But people that do it, they have these little devices, and they swear by it. So have a look into it, or maybe you're doing it. But I can always sleep, man. Sleeping for me is so easy. On Tren, even high-dose Tren, I can always sleep. I'm just busy the whole day. I'm working less, but I'm busy with my daughter and my cats and my motorbike. So at the end of the day, man, it's like as soon as I sit down for 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm gone. So I besides melatonin and high-dose growth hormone, which Chase also is a connoisseur thereof, I don't need much to fall asleep. L-theanine, yeah, knocks me out, or gorilla mode dream. Right, today I had like 300 milligrams of caffeine, and then whatever else is in the respawn. So I need a little bit of gorilla mode dream to kind of get me down, and it's GABA and L-theanine and melatonin and a couple other valerian root extract, that kind of shit, and that helps quite well to put me asleep fast. So I'll take that as soon as I go off air. Steve, how badly can overtraining skew liver markers? 80 AST, 210 ALT on 70 milligrams Tren, under 50 milligrams Anavar per week. Highly doubtful NAFLD. Bloods took me by surprise. Yeah, that seems quite high. Like if your ALT was 100 and AST was 80, I could write it off as training. Keep in mind that, what was it? I think AST has a longer half-life. AST, ALT half-life. So usually AST is higher. Oh, no, ALT is 48 hours and AST is 18 hours. So take a week off and see how much they drop. But for most people, they would drop by half, and then a 40 AST is okay. But for 50 milligrams Anavar per week, and I'm not sure what else you're taking, it's still quite high. And 105 ALT is quite high. So I don't know. We need to know your training intensity, your training frequency, how much cardio you're doing. Sauna can increase your liver enzymes a little bit. So the people who are in chronically overheating, heat stroke can increase your liver enzymes. Maybe you have some bile acid obstruction, maybe some gallstone that you're not aware of. How's your stool, man? Is it nice and brown and lubricated, or is it a little bit flaky and yellowy and not so good? Yeah, it could not be any FLD, but maybe you're not excreting properly. So maybe you're not eating enough fiber for those aminotransferases to be excreted. And what else are you doing? Like if you had alcohol the night before, then yeah, your liver enzymes will be elevated. I had that a couple times on blood work as well. You have 2 glasses of whiskey and a cigar. Then you go in for blood work the next day, and your C-reactive protein is 5 on a high sensitivity test, and your liver enzymes are like 150. You're like, what the fuck happened? All right, I did something that I do once in a while that I shouldn't be doing the day before blood work. So, All right, where are we? Okay, here. Thanks again for your time and input. What does variety and dose of your modafinil or modafinil look like? I stopped using those. I've never used armodafinil or flodrafinil. I used modafinil 50 milligrams per day for like 6 years straight with the occasional break. No withdrawal or anything. And then I stopped taking it because I wanted to get my wife pregnant, and modafinil has like slight negative effect on fertility. So I took it out. And then I introduced it a couple of years later when my wife was pregnant at 50 milligrams, and it just gave me a headache. So maybe I got older. It's the exact same modafinil, the Motorbike, right, the pharmaceutical one, or the generic pharmaceutical one from India. I gave a good amount to Aaron before he left. I think I got 1 strip left, but I don't see a reason to take it. And the other ones I never took because I always had access to modafinil. So why would I go with the variants when I can get the real deal? Coach, where do you buy your nicotinamide mononucleotide from now? I stopped using that after I got NAD Plus from Modern Aminos. I just inject some NAD Plus sub-Q. I stopped doing the NAD Plus IV injections and the NMN because 20 milligrams NAD Plus gives me the same feeling as 200 milligrams NAD Plus weekly IV plus 1,000 milligrams NMN. So I used to get it from iHerb. I'm not sure if they still sell it, but I haven't taken that in like 1.5 years. I just inject the NAD Plus in the morning or pre-workout, and iHerb removed all their products. Oh. Well, I don't know, Amazon. Just buy the NAD Plus, man. It's way more cost efficient. Years ago on T Nation, there were brain booster threads discussing a solid basic base of choline, vinpacetine, huperzine, choline fish oil. All these supplements still available in your opinion? Yeah, that's years ago. So I would vinpacetine. I don't think it's really used anymore. Huperzine A helps with the prevention of the breakdown of acetylcholine. So whether you take alpha GPC or choline inositol, I think it has its place once or twice per day, 200 micrograms. High quality fish oil, obviously. I like a combination of alpha GPC, new pept, and what is it called? Uridine 5-monophosphate. Those 3. I don't take the huperzine A because sometimes I feel a little bit weird. And again, I also take like methylene blue and fluvoxamine, so I don't want too much inhibition of neurotransmitters. I already get enough inhibition already, or prevention of reuptake inhibition. So I take alpha GPC, new pept, and uridine 5-monophosphate maybe twice per day, and then sometimes I replace the new pept with bromantane or dihexa, but if I do that, I only take that 1 per day because it seems to last a little bit longer. So, have you seen the Israel PhD or is it drama? I saw a couple of videos come by, but it honestly, I don't give a shit, man. It's who cares? The training content that he makes is good, and whether his PhD was shit or not, or a draft, and he had a better final version, it doesn't fucking matter, man. It doesn't fucking matter. It's people like to talk shit about people anyway, and there's one thing to make a joke in passing, like I do all the time. I make jokes in passing. Sometimes it goes over your heads and sometimes it doesn't. Right? You're like, oh, he's talking about that guy. Right? Well, you don't have to dedicate a whole video to that shit, and because if you dedicate a whole video to somebody, tearing their PhD apart or tearing the person apart, you automatically place yourself below that person, and you're putting that person on the pedestal, whether you trash them or not, because you're talking about them, they're not talking about you. And then, of course, you want the response, right? So if they respond to you, you get what you want, and then you come up a little bit. But if they don't respond because they don't give a shit, like I don't respond to any of these clowns, right? Because why would I give them the time of day? So I don't know if Israel responded to the drama, but in his position, he shouldn't. He's too big, man. Don't have to care. You know, it's there's always drama. I got plenty of drama as well, and you know, whether that was Liver King or Palumbo or just whatever, dude. Or you're spawned once and then you're done. And then if they come back, then whatever, man. There's always drama. You know what? Drama doesn't get you paid, it doesn't get you laid, and it doesn't improve the quality of your life. So why don't you focus on the cryptocurrency exchange market and the price of gold and the S&P, and then focus on that for an hour. Then you can make some money. And then instead of bitching about things becoming more expensive, let those people that bitch about things becoming more expensive focus on PhD drama, and then you just focus on the market and make yourself a little bit more rich, so you don't have to deal with the bullshit. You can sit in a nice restaurant eating a nice fat steak with the money that you made, and then while everybody's bitching and complaining, you're just having a great old time. That's how I approach it. That's what I do. All right, where are we? All right, everybody talking about sleep. Yeah, Delta sleep inducing peptide never did anything for me. I ran up to like 1 milligram, 2 milligram per day. Can't say that it did anything. Let's see. Joseph Sillett. Been on 400 milligrams test, 300 milligrams Deca for 20 weeks. Blood's perfect. What to add? Masteron, Primo. Impossible to find. So I added in the Tren and had a jolly good time. But you can also go to 600 test and 500 Deca, and then just make sure you up your aromatase inhibitor, or add in, 500 milligrams EQ to keep your estrogen under control, right? It's that should be a nice stack. The Deca and EQ together could give you a little bit of mental side effect, but same as Tren, so more androgens just generally means that you're going to be a little bit more irritable, and with EQ you might get a little bit of anxiety, and with Tren you might get a little bit of rage. But if you're on test and Deca, you're probably also on aromasin, and you're watching these channels, you're probably also on methylene blue and a whole slew of other stuff. So yeah, you have to going to figure it into the stack, but there's no shame in taking more tests and more Deca, bro. Doesn't have to be complicated. But by default, you would also need to take more aromasin to keep your estrogen under control. All right, so he had his third gastric surgery to repair hiatus hernia, GERD and nausea, pressure in the abdomen can rupture the sutures in my diaphragm, which already just happened. Had my second surgery in December. Had the second surgery on December, so it was last year. There's basically isn't a fourth surgery, so if this breaks, I'm fucked. I know I will lose muscle. Just wanted to minimize as possible. Just TRT and growth hormone, man. And TB500 and BPC157. Watch the gynecomastia video. I discussed the entire protocol that I did to recover from the gynecomastia surgery and the LASIK eye surgery and the leg surgery that I did in half the time. So go on a peptide stack that helps with recovery. You could add in maybe 10 milligrams of Anavar, a low dose, longer period of time to make it more sustainable and less invasive on your lipids and liver enzymes. But you're going to lose muscle, and it's not the end of the world, right? You already gone through hell. You can build that back. For now, the most important thing for you is just to heal your insides. And you can do that with TRT, low-dose growth hormone, and the healing peptides. And I think you'll be off in half the time the doctor recommends. And it's always a little bit of a challenge, right? I remember the doctor told me, oh, you'll never be able to squat again after my motorcycle accident 15 years ago. So it's like, fuck you, bitch. And I sent him a picture of me squatting the bar 3 months later. It's a challenge. It's not a recommendation. It's a challenge. So he says 2 years, just go back into the gym 1 year later. You know exactly how to eat and how to recover and rest and do some some ultrasounds in the meantime, just to make sure that everything is going in the right direction, before you really start going ham. So healing peptides for you and less steroids. Spread that money around. 6 foot, 220 pounds, 200 test, little epiandrosterone, 55 years old, want to gain 15 to 20 pounds, 16, 12 months possible, safe protocol. I would take the epiandrosterone out, go on 200 test, 50 milligrams DHEA, 25 milligrams pregnenolone, and 2 to 3 IU's growth hormone. And I think it's very good to gain 15 pounds. You're 55 years old. You don't want to be 240 pounds. It's too heavy. It sucks, but most people feel better at 230. So recomp. Don't focus on the scale. Recomp. Get lean, build some muscle, and with 200 tests, DHA, pregnenolone, maybe some HCG and growth hormone. I think that's very doable, man. And no protocol is safe. You're ramping up your hormones, so you need to do blood work. But you can do it as safe as possible. Ryan started 12 IU's growth hormone a day, done 1 VAR HCG cycle before this. What? I'm not sure if I want to answer this one. Yeah, I'm going to skip this one. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry, not sorry. Chase fried your brain. Oh, still talking about vagus nerves. Sean C. Steve, I've been trying retatrutide with empagliflozin stack and flat out wow. When paired with ketosis, you're an inferno. Yeah. Retatrutide, empagliflozin, 25 milligrams per day before bed. And then ketogenic diet. Dude, add some SLU, even 1 milligram per day, and you'll lose fat even faster. It's good. Guys, it's like everybody checks in, right? I've gone up to 400 milligrams, and Gorilla Chemist went up to 400 milligrams per day. All right, I know you're late to the party, but we discussed this like 5 times already during the stream. I plan on running tests only cycles within a 250 to 750 milligram range. Yeah, that's what I told myself too, and then I ended up at 2.5 grams. Yeah, never say never, Ben. Can I maintain that muscle on 100 milligrams TRT? No. Additionally, should I hop off everything, including TRT, before sleep apnea surgery? If it's full anesthesia, then yes. Yeah, I prefer not to be on anything with full anesthesia. I usually stop everything 2 to 3 weeks out. So when I did the leg surgery and the gynecomastia surgery, I was not under full anesthesia because I requested that. So I was fully awake for the gyno surgery and the LASIK eye surgery and the leg surgery. It was not fun, but at least you kind of can ask questions and direct what's going on. For the gyno surgery, I had localized anesthesia. And for the leg surgery, I had a punction, right? So you get the you don't feel anything from the waist down, basically. So you're never sure if you want to pee or not for like 6 hours. Should I pee? Do I have to pee? I'm on an IV. Do I have to pee? And you lay there at your side, trying to pee, nothing comes out. Anyway, I went off TRT and everything, man. I even came off the fish oil and the vitamin E because with this many surgeries, you don't want any blood thinning effects. So, yeah, sleep apnea surgery. I'm not really sure where they're going to do that, but if it's full anesthesia, I would just be off everything. And if you're running cycles within 250 to 750 milligram range, I think you can maintain it on 200 tests TRT, but not 100. No, unless you're really eating a lot and throwing the growth hormone at it. But 200 tests, man, why would you go any lower? If you're big and you build a lot of size in 750 tests, I think you need 200 tests to sustain that. Yeah. unless you're half fasting it on 750 milligrams test, then yes, you can go to 100 milligrams TRT and just maintain the half-assed muscle that you built. You know, the muscle that you could have gone when you were natural. Why did you look natural on 750 tests? You'd be surprised, dude. What meds add glucose to urine other than Farsia, empagliflozin? But I'm not sure if that's called Farsia. Empag and dapagliflozin. Jardiance. What it's called? Oh, that's Farsia. Yeah, so that's empagliflozin, Jardiance, and Farsia or Farxia is dapagliflozin. So both of them are sodium glucose type 2 inhibitors, or sodium glucose transporter type 2 inhibitors. And it means that, yeah, you excrete sodium and glucose at a higher capacity. It means you have to increase your sodium intake and let fat loss happen. Yeah, I'm at the bottom. That's what she said. What is sports stone of infinity gauntlet acquired? That went straight over my head. Or did it? All right, guys. It's been, well, 1 hour, 15 minutes. I really got to pee. So I think we're going to throw in the towel. I'll give you guys 5 more minutes for super chats. And then I'm going to quit it. I'll set up the studio a little bit more over the next couple of days. And then we'll go right back to more frequent Vigorous Q&As and actually recording some content. Yeah, it's been the 3-month hiatus has been long enough. It's been long enough. Last minute tips on AOD9605. Make sure you do it in a fat loss state, and or fat loss journey, and maximize it. But AOD9601, HGH frag, and growth hormone, for that matter, are pretty poor fat burners or fat releasers. I would rather look into SLU, mirabegron, or clenbuterol. The traditional fat burners are way more potent for fat loss. Unless you really megadose growth hormone, it's not really doing much for fat loss. Did you change your mind about attending the Mr. Olympia in Vegas? No, I'm not going. I'm not going, guys. I want to spend time with my daughter. At the expo, I usually get sick, and I can't afford that right now because my daughter only had a couple of vaccinations. And I don't want to bring anything from the United States back over that might make her sick. And then I have to quarantine myself. So I don't see her for like 10 days. And if I go to Vegas, I don't see her for 10 days because you got a 2-day journey around it, before and after, or 1.5 day journey, basically. And then I need to quarantine myself and stay away from the house to prevent her from catching whatever the fuck I got in the US. So no. Not going. I might go to the Arnold Classic, but that kind of depends on who else is going. And for now, I don't really know who else is going. I would talk with Chase about this. He didn't make any plans for the Arnold Classic yet. But if Chase is going, and Paul and Kurt and all those guys, then yeah, by that time, my daughter will be 9 months old. It will be about 3 months before we implant the second baby. So that should be a good time. And I haven't been to Arnold Classic yet. But the Olympia, no, I'm going to skip out this year. I've been 3 times in a row, and it's I can afford to skip it. I'd love to run higher TRT doses, but I'm worried about longevity. Even on just TRT, I take a lot of antioxidants until telmisartan, bivol, SGLT2s. I don't even think you need any of those on TRT. I think you're hypochondriac, and it means that if you're already on this stack for just TRT, and this game is not for you, man. I hate to say it, but you don't need Nabivol, you don't need telmisartan, you probably don't need ezetimibe, you don't need SGLT2s unless you eat like an asshole, you know? So if you eat the typical American diet or the typical Canadian diet in your case, then on TRT, yes, you need all those medications. But if you live a healthy lifestyle, you just train and eat healthy and sleep on time, then you don't need any of those. Antioxidants, okay, are beneficial, but when I'm on TRT, I take none of that shit, man. I just eat healthy. So, oh yeah, I definitely need to get drunk with you. We should definitely go out and get fucking hammered, bro. Talk about Star Trek Deep Space Nine. All right. Well, at least my boy Joshua, the best fucking guy in the chat every time, is going. Whether it's my chat or Paul's chat or whoever's chat, Joshua is always there to lighten the mood. Peliac needs to hire a coach. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, if you're going, then I'm already more incentivized to go, bro. I'm definitely gonna fucking get fucking wasted. We could do Quark Odo bits. Should do the Quark and what's it called? Fuck the Kardashian. I want you to try this drink. What the fuck is this? It's like root beer. Oh, it's so bubbly. And after a while, you just start to like it. Oh, just like the Federation. Fuck, man. That's like the pinnacle Deep Space Nine. That scene. All right, guys. I'm going to throw in the towel. I'll keep you guys posted. I'm going to try to do this weekly again because right now the studio's basically at my desk. All the women are upstairs, so I don't bother them anymore. And so we can do weekly Q&As again. And I kind of settled in my routine. So hopefully there'll be some more content for you guys after 3 months of not doing shit and focusing on cryptocurrency. I'm kind of getting bored. So my editors are fucking fearing for their jobs. So like, Steve, when are you going to make content again? So we'll get back into it, man. Guys, I wish you a very happy weekend. Tomorrow I'm going to eat all of the money that you donated through Super Chats, spend it on cheesecake. So if I look a little bit bloated on Monday, it's your fault. All right, guys. Peace out. Have a nice Saturday and Sunday, and we'll see you next weekend. Take it easy.